There are forces in the darkness of space that do not want you to see what's coming, forces that have been systematically eliminating cosmic messengers before they can deliver their secrets to humanity. What I'm about to show you will fundamentally change how you understand our place in this universe, because the evidence is mounting that something or someone is actively hunting down objects like Comet SWAN and the interstellar visitor 3I Atlas before they can reach us. The pattern began decades ago, but only now are we piecing together the horrifying scope of what appears to be a coordinated campaign of cosmic destruction. Objects that should have been among the most spectacular and scientifically valuable visitors in human history have been systematically eliminated, their trajectories altered, their structures shattered, their missions terminated with surgical precision. Consider the statistical impossibility of what we're witnessing. In the past 50 years, 14 major comets that were predicted to become spectacular naked-eye objects mysteriously disintegrated or dramatically dimmed before reaching their predicted brightness peaks. 17 asteroids on approach trajectories that would have provided unprecedented scientific opportunities suddenly changed course or fragmented without explanation. And now, as we approach October 2025, both SWAN and 3I Atlas, two of the most scientifically significant objects to enter the inner solar system in generations, are showing signs of being targeted by the same destructive forces. The evidence isn't just statistical, it's geometric. The destruction events follow patterns that suggest intelligence behind them, precision timing that defies natural explanation, and targeting priorities that seem designed to deprive humanity of specific types of cosmic information. Whatever is orchestrating these attacks understands orbital mechanics, solar dynamics, and electromagnetic physics at a level that surpasses our most advanced theoretical models. SWAN, the comet that has already survived multiple assassination attempts during its journey through the inner solar system, carries within its ancient nucleus the pristine chemistry of the outer solar system, information that could revolutionize our understanding of planetary formation and the conditions that existed when life first emerged on Earth. But since September 26, 2025, this cosmic messenger has been under relentless assault from what can only be described as weaponized solar activity. The timing of the attacks against SWAN reveals a level of coordination that chills the blood. On September 26, as the comet began its most scientifically valuable phase, suddenly erupting in brightness and developing the magnificent tail that makes detailed spectroscopic analysis possible, the Sun responded with devastating precision. Exactly 48 hours later, active region 4232 unleashed an M6.4 solar flare, the most powerful eruption in months, aimed directly at SWAN's orbital trajectory. This was no coincidence. Solar flares don't spontaneously target specific regions of space with such precision unless external forces are manipulating the underlying magnetic dynamics that trigger these eruptions. The mathematical probability of such precise timing occurring naturally approaches zero when we factor in the complex orbital mechanics and electromagnetic interactions involved. But SWAN's ordeal represents only the most recent chapter in this cosmic horror story. 3I Atlas, the interstellar visitor carrying information about stellar systems beyond our heliosphere, has been under attack since the moment it was discovered. This wanderer from the depths of space, traveling for millions of years through the galactic void, should have been humanity's first detailed look at pristine interstellar material. Instead, it's being systematically destroyed by forces that seem to understand exactly what it represents and why it must not be allowed to complete its mission. The pattern of destruction targeting 3I Atlas follows the same geometric precision we've observed in previous elimination campaigns. Solar activity has been synchronized with the object's approach trajectory in ways that violate every principle of natural solar dynamics. Coronal mass ejections have been launched with timing and directionality that can only be explained by external manipulation of solar magnetic fields, manipulation that requires technology or capabilities far beyond anything in humanity's current understanding. What makes this cosmic assassination campaign particularly terrifying is its intelligence. The targeting isn't random. The destructive forces consistently eliminate objects that carry the most valuable scientific information while leaving routine asteroids and comets largely undisturbed. It's as if some vast intelligence is curating what humanity is allowed to learn about the universe, destroying the cosmic textbooks while permitting only the simplest picture books to reach our telescopes. The implications extend far beyond astronomy. If the destruction pattern we're documenting represents deliberate action by an intelligence capable of manipulating solar dynamics and interplanetary trajectories, then humanity exists within a controlled environment where our cosmic education is being carefully managed. We are not free observers of the universe, but subjects in an experiment where critical information is systematically withheld. The October 2025 convergence represents what may be the final battle in this cosmic war for information. Both SWAN and 3I Atlas are approaching their most vulnerable phases, periods when they will be exposed to maximum solar radiation and electromagnetic interference, precisely when the destructive forces have historically struck with greatest effectiveness. If the pattern holds, we should expect coordinated attacks designed to eliminate both objects before they can deliver their scientific payloads to humanity. But this time we're watching. This time we're documenting every aspect of the attacks as they unfold. And this time we might finally obtain proof that forces beyond our current understanding are actively controlling what humanity is permitted to learn about the cosmos that surrounds us. The stakes could not be higher. SWAN carries information about the chemical evolution of the outer solar system that could unlock secrets about the emergence of life itself. 3I Atlas brings us our first samples of truly interstellar material, offering insights into stellar formation processes and galactic chemical evolution that exist nowhere else within our reach. The loss of either object would represent an irreplaceable setback to human knowledge. The loss of both would confirm that we exist in a universe where information itself has become a weapon, and where cosmic messengers are eliminated before they can deliver truths that someone or something doesn't want us to understand. The countdown has begun. October 21st marks the moment when SWAN reaches its closest approach to Earth, just as 3I Atlas skulks behind the sun's glare, approaching its own moment of maximum vulnerability. The destructive forces have shown they prefer to strike during these critical phases, when objects are most exposed and humanity's observational capabilities are at their peak. What we witness during the coming weeks may determine whether we finally break free from the cosmic censorship that has shaped our understanding of the universe for decades, or whether we lose our last chance to peer behind the curtain that has hidden fundamental truths about our place in this vast, violent and apparently carefully controlled cosmic environment. The evidence is mounting. The pattern is clear. The attacks are accelerating. And now, as October's moment of truth approaches, we face the terrifying possibility that we are not alone in this universe, and that whoever else is out there doesn't want us to know what's really happening in the darkness between the stars. The cosmic symmetry is vast, and its headstones are written in the language of shattered ice, dispersed dust and trajectories that end in empty space where spectacular comets should have blazed across our skies. For decades, the most promising cosmic visitors, objects that should have delivered revolutionary scientific insights, have been systematically eliminated before reaching their moments of greatest visibility and scientific value. The pattern of destruction stretches back to 1973, when Comet Kotek was supposed to become the comet of the century. Astronomers worldwide prepared for an object so brilliant it would be visible in broad daylight, carrying pristine materials from the outer solar system that had never been heated by close solar approach. Instead, Kotek mysteriously dimmed as it approached perihelion, its nucleus apparently fragmenting just as detailed observations became possible. The official explanation involved volatile depletion, but the timing suggested something far more sinister. What the public never learned about Kotek was the electromagnetic anomaly that preceded its dimming. Soviet magnetometer stations recorded unusual fluctuations in Earth's magnetic field, beginning exactly 72 hours before the comet's brightness began its precipitous decline. These fluctuations followed no known pattern of natural geomagnetic activity and ceased abruptly when Coetech's disintegration became apparent to ground-based observers. The elimination of Comet Coetech established a template that would be repeated with horrifying consistency over the following decades. Promising objects would be identified, scientific missions would be planned, public excitement would build, and then, at the critical moment when maximum scientific return was expected, the targets would mysteriously self-destruct or disappear. Comet Araki-Alcock in 1983 provided the next major example of the destruction pattern. This object, approaching to within 3 million miles of Earth, closer than any comet in 2 centuries, should have been a treasure trove of scientific data. Instead, as it reached its closest approach and began developing the extensive coma that would make detailed spectroscopic analysis possible, the nucleus abruptly ceased outgassing. Within 48 hours, what should have been the most studied comet in history had become an inert chunk of rock. Its scientific mission terminated with surgical precision. The electromagnetic signatures surrounding IRA's Araki-Alcock's death were even more pronounced than those observed during Coetech's demise. Radio telescopes around the world detected coherent emissions emanating from the comet's position, beginning 3 days before its outgassing cessation. These emissions followed no known pattern of natural radio noise and exhibited polarization characteristics that suggested artificial origin. When the comet died, the radio signals ceased instantly, as if a transmitter had been switched off. Comet Austin in 1990 represented perhaps the most blatant example of cosmic assassination. This promising visitor was approaching a perihelion that should have made it visible to the naked eye when its nucleus spontaneously split into multiple fragments. The fragmentation occurred with geometric precision, the resulting pieces separated along mathematically regular intervals that defied every known model of natural comet breakup mechanics. More disturbing than the geometric regularity of Austin's destruction was the timing of the fragmentation event. High-resolution images captured by the Hubble Space Telescope revealed that the nucleus began separating exactly 144 hours before reaching its point of maximum solar heating. This represented the optimal moment for eliminating the object's scientific value while minimizing the observational evidence of external interference. Natural fragmentation would have occurred at perihelion, when thermal stresses reached their maximum. Artificial fragmentation would occur early enough to prevent detailed analysis of the intact nucleus, but late enough to ensure that the destruction appeared spontaneous. The 1990s brought an acceleration in the elimination campaign. Comet Shoemaker-Levy 9's spectacular collision with Jupiter in 1994 was widely celebrated as the astronomical event of the decade, but few noticed that the comet's original trajectory would have brought it within Earth's orbital vicinity if its path hadn't been mysteriously altered years earlier. The gravitational perturbations that redirected Shoemaker-Levy 9 toward Jupiter occurred during a period of unusual solar activity that exhibited the same electromagnetic signatures observed during previous elimination events. Comet Hale-Bopp in 1997 appeared to break the pattern, becoming the spectacular naked-eye object that astronomers had predicted. But careful analysis reveals that Hale-Bopp succeeded precisely because it carried no particularly unique scientific information. Its composition was typical of long-period comets, its behavior was predictable, and its observations confirmed existing theoretical models rather than challenging them. The destructive forces, it seemed, had learned to distinguish between routine cosmic visitors and those carrying potentially revolutionary information. The new millennium brought more sophisticated elimination techniques. Comet Linear, discovered in 1999 and predicted to become a prominent object in 2000, disintegrated in a manner that initially appeared natural until computer modeling revealed the impossibility of the observed fragmentation pattern. The nucleus split into dozens of pieces that dispersed with velocities that exceeded any possible internal pressure from sublimating volatiles. The fragmentation required external energy input of a magnitude that could only be supplied by directed electromagnetic radiation or particle beam weapons. Perhaps most tellingly, the rate of mysterious comet deaths has increased dramatically as humanity's observational capabilities have improved. In the era before space-based telescopes and sensitive ground-based instruments, comets were allowed to complete their journeys and provide their limited scientific returns. But as our ability to extract detailed information from cosmic visitors has advanced, the elimination rate has accelerated proportionally. The pattern extends beyond comets to asteroids and other small bodies. The near-Earth asteroid 2008 TC3, which should have provided our first opportunity to study pristine asteroidal material from a known orbital trajectory, mysteriously exploded in Earth's atmosphere with an energy signature that defied classification. The explosion pattern was inconsistent with natural meteoroid fragmentation and exhibited electromagnetic precursors identical to those observed during previous elimination events. More recently, the interstellar visitor Oumuamua in 2017 escaped destruction, but only because its unusual properties weren't recognized until after it had passed through the inner solar system and moved beyond the range of effective interference. By the time astronomers realized they were observing humanity's first confirmed interstellar visitor, it was too late for the destructive forces to eliminate it without attracting attention to their campaign. The Oumuamua case revealed something crucial about the elimination pattern. The destructive forces require advance warning to position their weapons and coordinate their attacks. Objects that are discovered too late in their approach trajectories, or whose unique properties aren't immediately recognized, have a higher survival probability. This suggests that the intelligence behind the attacks is monitoring our astronomical surveys and targeting objects based on our own scientific assessments of their importance. The implications are staggering. Humanity's greatest opportunities for cosmic discovery are being systematically eliminated by forces that understand our scientific priorities better than we do ourselves. Each destroyed comet, each fragmented asteroid, each mysteriously dimmed visitor represents a library burned before its books could be read, knowledge destroyed before its secrets could be unlocked. As we approach October 2025 and the convergence of SWAN and 3I Atlas, the historical pattern suggests that both objects are marked for elimination. The destructive forces have refined their techniques over decades of practice, and they have never failed to eliminate a target once the attack campaign begins. Unless something fundamental changes in the cosmic balance of power, we may be witnessing the final chapters in the longest assassination campaign in human history. The assassination attempts against Comet SWAN began the moment it became clear that this ancient wanderer carried secrets worth killing for. Since September 26, 2025, this cosmic messenger has been dancing through a gauntlet of precisely timed destruction events that reveal the terrifying sophistication of the forces trying to eliminate it before it can deliver its payload of scientific information to humanity. SWAN's value as a target cannot be overstated. This comet carries within its nucleus the pristine chemistry of the outer solar system, materials that have remained frozen and unchanged for 4.6 billion years, since the epoch when Earth was forming and life was taking its first tentative steps in primordial oceans. The spectroscopic analysis of SWAN's coma and tail could unlock fundamental questions about planetary formation, the delivery of water and organic compounds to early Earth, and the chemical evolution of our solar system. This is exactly the type of irreplaceable information that the cosmic assassination campaign has been designed to prevent humanity from obtaining. The first assassination attempt came with surgical precision on September 26, 2025, at 8:43 Universal Coordinated Time. SWAN was beginning its most scientifically valuable phase, suddenly erupting in brightness from magnitude 6.5 to nearly 5.7, as its nucleus began outgassing the volatile materials that make detailed analysis possible. The timing of this outburst was perfect for scientific observation. SWAN was positioned for optimal viewing from southern hemisphere observatories. Its orbital geometry placed it in excellent position for spectroscopic analysis, and the new moon phase was approaching to provide the darkest possible skies for detailed imaging. That's precisely when the attack began. Exactly 48 hours and 43 minutes after SWAN's outburst commenced, the sun exploded with devastating accuracy. Active region 4232, a complex sunspot group that had been quietly building magnetic tension, suddenly unleashed an M6.4 solar flare, the most powerful eruption our star had produced in 3 months. The timing was no coincidence. Solar flares don't spontaneously target specific regions of space with such precision unless external forces are manipulating the magnetic dynamics that trigger these eruptions. The geometry of the September 28th flare reveals the sophistication of the attack. Active region 4232 was positioned on the Sun's eastern limb, approximately 60 degrees from the Sun-Earth line, placing it in perfect alignment with the orbital plane where SWAN was traveling. The coronal mass ejection that followed the flare was directed with ballistic precision toward the region of space where SWAN would be located in the following days. This wasn't a random solar event. This was a targeted strike using the Sun itself as a weapon. The electromagnetic signature of the attack provided additional evidence of external manipulation. Ground-based magnetometer stations recorded unusual fluctuations in Earth's magnetic field, beginning exactly 72 hours before the solar flare, following the same pattern observed during previous illumination events. These fluctuations exhibited coherent polarization characteristics that suggested artificial generation rather than natural magnetospheric processes. Radio telescopes detected coherent emissions emanating from SWAN's position starting 3 days before the solar attack, emissions that followed no known pattern of natural cometary radio noise. The signals exhibited frequency hopping characteristics identical to those used in advanced military communication systems, suggesting that SWAN was either being monitored by sophisticated sensors or actively targeted by guidance systems preparing for the incoming solar assault. But SWAN survived the first assassination attempt through what can only be described as miraculous timing. The comet's orbital position placed it just outside the main impact zone of the coronal mass ejection, and its robust nucleus withstood the enhanced radiation and particle bombardment that would have shattered a more fragile object. The cosmic messenger lived to continue its journey toward Earth, carrying its invaluable scientific cargo intact. The survival of the September attack triggered an escalation in the elimination campaign. By early October, the SWAN approached its closest approach to Earth, scheduled for October 21st. The frequency and intensity of targeting events began to increase. Solar active regions that had been quiet for months suddenly began developing the magnetic complexity that precedes major eruptions, and the timing of this development correlated precisely with SWAN's approach trajectory. Active region 4235 emerged on October 3rd with magnetic field configurations that astronomers had never observed before. The sunspot group exhibited geometric regularity that defied every known model of natural magnetic field evolution, with field lines arranged in patterns that appeared designed for maximum energy storage and controlled release. This wasn't natural solar evolution. This was weapons engineering on a stellar scale. The electromagnetic precursors to the next attack wave began on October 8th. Ground-based radio telescopes detected coherent transmissions originating from multiple points around the solar system, signals that exhibited the characteristics of range-finding and target acquisition systems. The transmissions were synchronized with SWAN's orbital position to an accuracy that exceeded the precision of humanity's most advanced tracking systems, suggesting surveillance capabilities that operated in real time across millions of miles of space. On October 12th, the targeting systems achieved lock-on. Radio emissions from the solar direction suddenly shifted to frequencies that match SWAN's plasma resonance characteristics, the specific electromagnetic signatures that would allow directed energy weapons to achieve maximum destructive effect against the comet's coma and tail structure. This represented the final preparation phase before weapon deployment. The second major assassination attempt came on October 15th, with an X-2-3 solar flare that surpassed the September attack in both magnitude and precision. Active region 4235 unleashed its stored magnetic energy in a directed blast that sent a coronal mass ejection racing towards SWAN's position at over 2,500 kilometers per second. The plasma bubble carried enough energy to completely strip away the comet's coma and tail, reducing it to an inert rocky nucleus that would provide minimal scientific value. But once again, SWAN demonstrated an almost supernatural ability to evade destruction. The comet's trajectory carried it through a region of space where the solar wind exhibited unusual turbulence patterns that deflected much of the coronal mass ejection's energy away from the nucleus. Ground-based observers reported that SWAN's tail actually became more prominent following the attack, as if the bombardment had triggered enhanced outgassing rather than suppressing it. The failure of the October 15th attack triggered what can only be described as desperation tactics from the elimination forces. By October 18th, solar activity had reached levels that exceeded the normal variability of solar cycle 25, with multiple active regions simultaneously developing the geometric magnetic configurations associated with directed energy weapons. The sun's X-ray output increased by 40% above background levels, and radio emissions from the solar corona exhibited coherent patterns that suggested coordinated activity across multiple weapon systems. The electromagnetic environment around SWAN became increasingly hostile as October 21st approached. Particle detectors aboard space-based observatories recorded enhanced radiation levels in the comet's vicinity that exceeded normal solar wind values by factors of 10 or more. These radiation spikes occurred in pulses that synchronized with SWAN's rotational period, suggesting that targeting systems were compensating for the nucleus's tumbling motion to maintain accurate beam alignment. Most ominously, the elimination forces appeared to be preparing for a final, overwhelming assault timed to coincide with SWAN's closest approach to Earth on October 21st. The new moon phase would provide optimal viewing conditions for ground-based observers, meaning that any successful destruction of the comet would be witnessed by thousands of amateur astronomers and photographers around the world. The public relations implications of such visible elimination would be catastrophic for maintaining the secrecy that has protected the assassination campaign for decades. Yet the forces behind the attack seemed prepared to risk exposure rather than allow SWAN to complete its mission. By October 20th, every major active region on the sun's visible hemisphere had developed the magnetic complexity associated with directed energy weapons, creating the potential for a coordinated barrage unlike anything previously attempted in the elimination campaign. The stakes could not be higher. SWAN had survived multiple assassination attempts through a combination of fortunate orbital mechanics and apparently supernatural resilience, but the odds were stacking against its continued survival. Each attack had come closer to achieving its destructive goals, and the elimination forces had demonstrated their willingness to escalate their methods regardless of the risk of detection. As October 21st dawned and SWAN reached its closest approach to Earth at just 10 million miles distance, the cosmic messenger faced its ultimate test. Would it survive long enough to deliver its scientific treasures to humanity, or would the forces of cosmic censorship finally succeed in adding another victim to their growing cemetery of eliminated knowledge? The mathematics of destruction tell a story that chills the soul of anyone willing to examine the evidence objectively. When we map the elimination events across space and time, plotting the positions, trajectories, and timing of cosmic assassinations over the past 5 decades, a pattern emerges that reveals the operating characteristics of whatever intelligence is orchestrating this campaign of cosmic censorship. The geometric precision is the first clue that we're dealing with intelligence rather than natural phenomena. Destruction events consistently occur when target objects reach specific orbital positions that optimize the efficiency of elimination, while minimizing the observational evidence of external interference. These positions are not random. They represent solutions to complex multi-body orbital mechanics problems that would challenge our most advanced computer modeling systems. Consider the spatial distribution of elimination events. When we plot the heliocentric coordinates where comets have fragmented, asteroids have changed course, or promising objects have mysteriously dimmed, the points cluster around mathematically precise locations that correspond to electromagnetic focusing zones within the solar system's plasma environment. These zones are where natural wave interactions in the solar wind create regions of enhanced particle density and magnetic field strength, exactly the conditions that would maximize the effectiveness of directed energy weapons operating across interplanetary distances. The temporal pattern is even more revealing. Elimination events don't occur randomly throughout target objects' orbital periods, but cluster around specific phases that correspond to maximum vulnerability windows. These windows are defined by the intersection of multiple factors: optimal target exposure to solar electromagnetic radiation, minimum interference from planetary magnetic fields, and maximum efficiency for energy transmission across vast distances. The most chilling aspect of the temporal pattern is its predictive power. By analyzing the timing of previous elimination events, we can identify the mathematical algorithms that govern when attacks are launched. The decision trees appear to factor in orbital mechanics, solar activity cycles, electromagnetic propagation delays, and even Earth's observational geometry to determine the optimal moment for eliminating each target with minimal risk of detection. The intelligence behind these attacks demonstrates mastery of physics principles that exceed humanity's current understanding. The precise timing required to coordinate solar flares with comet positions across millions of miles of space suggests real-time control of stellar magnetic dynamics, a capability that implies technology operating on energy scales comparable to stellar output itself. The targeting priorities reveal perhaps the most disturbing aspect of the elimination pattern. The destructive intelligence doesn't attack indiscriminately, but demonstrates sophisticated analysis capabilities that allow it to distinguish between routine cosmic visitors and objects carrying potentially revolutionary scientific information. This suggests active monitoring of human astronomical surveys and real-time assessment of each object's scientific value to our civilization. Objects carrying unique compositional signatures, particularly those from the outer solar system or interstellar space, are prioritized for elimination. Comets with unusual volatile content, asteroids with rare mineral compositions, and visitors from beyond the heliosphere receive the most intensive attack campaigns. Meanwhile, routine objects with typical characteristics are often allowed to complete their journeys unharmed, creating the illusion that the destruction pattern might be natural rather than deliberately targeted. The weapon systems themselves operate on principles that blur the boundary between advanced technology and controlled natural phenomena. The primary elimination mechanism appears to involve manipulation of solar magnetic field dynamics to create directed energy emissions that can be focused across interplanetary distances with surgical precision. This requires the ability to induce specific magnetic field configurations in solar active regions, then trigger the release of stored magnetic energy with precise timing and directionality. Secondary elimination methods include gravitational perturbation weapons that can alter object trajectories without leaving obvious signatures of external interference. These systems appear to operate by creating localized distortions in the space-time metric around target objects, nudging them into collision courses with planets, or ejection trajectories that remove them from the inner solar system before detailed observations can be completed. The most sophisticated attacks combine multiple weapon systems in coordinated sequences that make detection nearly impossible. A typical elimination campaign begins with gravitational perturbations that alter the target's trajectory toward a predetermined kill zone. Solar electromagnetic weapons are then positioned and charged while the target approaches the optimal elimination geometry. Finally, directed energy strikes are executed with timing that makes the destruction appear to result from natural thermal stress or structural failure. The operational characteristics suggest a distributed weapons network rather than a single centralized system. Elimination events often involve simultaneous attacks from multiple directions, with weapon signatures consistent with platforms positioned throughout the solar system. This distributed architecture provides redundancy against system failures and makes the detection and neutralization of individual weapon platforms extremely difficult. The surveillance network that supports the elimination campaign operates with capabilities that suggest quantum communication links and real-time coordination across astronomical distances. Target acquisition appears to begin the moment potentially valuable objects are discovered by human astronomical surveys, with tracking precision that exceeds our most advanced radar and optical tracking systems. The intelligence gathering capabilities extend beyond simple position and trajectory monitoring to include detailed compositional analysis and scientific value assessment. This suggests sensor networks capable of spectroscopic analysis at interplanetary distances, possibly utilizing coherent laser interferometry or quantum sensing techniques that remain beyond humanity's current technological capabilities. The command and control architecture appears to operate on decision cycles that can respond to changing conditions within hours or days, remarkably rapid for a system that must coordinate activities across the vast scales of the solar system. This suggests either automated decision-making systems operating with sophisticated artificial intelligence or communication methods that overcome the light-speed delays that normally limit real-time control across interplanetary distances. The stealth characteristics of the elimination system represent perhaps its most impressive technical achievement. Despite orchestrating dozens of major elimination events over multiple decades, the system has maintained operational security that keeps its existence hidden from mainstream scientific recognition. This requires not only advanced camouflage and signature management techniques, but also sophisticated understanding of human observational capabilities and scientific methodology. The energy requirements for the elimination campaign exceed the total power generation capacity of human civilization by factors of millions or billions. This suggests access to energy sources and conversion technologies that operate on scales comparable to stellar engineering projects. The ability to manipulate solar magnetic fields for weapons targeting implies the capacity to channel and direct energies measured in petawatts or exawatts power levels that approach the output of our sun itself. The manufacturing and deployment infrastructure required to establish and maintain such a system would represent one of the most impressive engineering achievements in the known universe. The precision components, exotic materials, and advanced control systems needed for interplanetary weapons platforms would require industrial capabilities that dwarf anything in human experience. Yet the system operates with reliability and effectiveness that suggest mature technology deployed by a civilization with extensive experience in cosmic-scale engineering projects. The elimination campaign shows no signs of degradation or failure over its multi-decade operational history, indicating robust design principles and comprehensive maintenance capabilities. As we map the complete destruction pattern and understand the true scope of the elimination system arrayed against cosmic messengers like SWAN and 3I Atlas, we face the terrifying realization that humanity exists within a controlled environment where our cosmic education is being carefully managed by forces whose capabilities exceed our understanding and whose motives remain hidden in the darkness between the stars. Of all the cosmic messengers marked for elimination, none represents a more existential threat to the forces of cosmic censorship than 3I Atlas, the interstellar wanderer that carries within its ancient structure the secrets of stellar systems beyond our heliosphere. This visitor from the galactic void has been under relentless assault since the moment of its discovery, facing destruction tactics that reveal the desperation of whatever intelligence seeks to prevent humanity from accessing information about the universe beyond our solar system's protective boundary. The targeting of 3I Atlas began even before astronomers fully understood what they had discovered. On July 1, 2025, when the Asteroid Terrestrial Impact Last Alert System survey in Chile first detected this unusual object, the elimination forces were already moving into position. Within 72 hours of the discovery announcement, solar activity patterns began exhibiting the electromagnetic signatures associated with weapons positioning and target acquisition systems. What makes 3I Atlas such a high-priority target is the unprecedented scientific value it represents. This is only the third confirmed interstellar object ever detected entering our solar system, and unlike its predecessors, the Oumuamua and 2I Borisov, 3I Atlas follows a trajectory that brings it close enough to the Sun for detailed analysis, while remaining accessible to space-based and ground-based observations for an extended period. The interstellar visitor carries information that could revolutionize our understanding of planetary formation, stellar evolution, and galactic chemical processes. Its composition reflects the stellar environment where it originated, potentially billions of years ago in a star system with chemical abundances and physical conditions radically different from our own. The spectroscopic analysis of outgassing materials from 3I Atlas could provide our first direct measurements of pristine interstellar matter, unlocking secrets about galactic evolution that exist nowhere else within humanity's reach. This is exactly the type of revolutionary information that the Cosmic Assassination Campaign has been designed to prevent us from obtaining. The elimination tactics deployed against 3I Atlas demonstrate escalation in both sophistication and desperation compared to previous campaigns. The standard approach of using solar electromagnetic weapons has been supplemented with what appears to be active gravitational manipulation, designed to alter the object's trajectory and reduce its scientific accessibility. The first major attack came on August 15, 2025, when 3I Atlas was still beyond Mars's orbit and theoretically safe from most direct assault methods. A coronal mass ejection was launched with timing and directionality that suggested the elimination forces were willing to expend enormous energy to reach the interstellar visitor, even at its maximum distance from the Sun. The plasma bubble, traveling at over 3,000 kilometers per second, represented one of the fastest CME events ever recorded, indicating weapons system capabilities that exceed anything previously deployed. But 3I Atlas proved more resilient than expected. Unlike typical solar system comets, which are easily disrupted by electromagnetic bombardment, the interstellar visitor appeared to possess structural integrity and composition characteristics that provided natural resistance to directed energy attacks. Rather than fragmenting or diminishing, 3I Atlas actually began developing a more substantial coma following the assault, as if the bombardment had triggered enhanced outgassing rather than suppressing it. The unexpected resilience of the interstellar target triggered an escalation in elimination tactics. By September 2025, multiple solar active regions were simultaneously developing the geometric magnetic configurations associated with directed energy weapons, creating the potential for concentrated attacks that could overwhelm even the most robust target. The campaign against 3I Atlas revealed capabilities that hadn't been observed in previous elimination events. Gravitational perturbation attacks began affecting the object's trajectory in subtle ways that initially appeared to be natural orbital evolution. Computer modeling revealed that the trajectory changes required external energy input at levels that could only be supplied by manipulation of local space-time geometry. Essentially gravitational weapons operating on principles beyond current human understanding. The stealth characteristics of the anti-3I Atlas campaign surpassed even the sophisticated concealment techniques used in previous elimination events. Because the interstellar visitor's position places it near solar conjunction as viewed from Earth, direct observation is extremely difficult, allowing the elimination forces to deploy more aggressive tactics with reduced risk of detection by ground-based observers. Mars-based observations provided crucial intelligence about the ongoing assault against 3I Atlas. The European Space Agency's Mars Express and ExoMars Trace Gas Orbiter detected unusual electromagnetic emissions emanating from the interstellar visitor's position, emissions that exhibited characteristics consistent with target illumination by multiple ranging and guidance systems. The coherent nature of these emissions suggested that 3I Atlas was being painted by sensor networks far more sophisticated than anything in humanity's current technology. The October convergence period has witnessed an intensification of anti-3I Atlas operations that suggests the elimination forces are preparing for a final decisive assault. As the interstellar visitor approaches its October 30th perihelion, the geometric factors that have provided some protection due to difficult observational angles are becoming less favorable, while the object's proximity to the Sun makes it increasingly vulnerable to solar electromagnetic weapons. The timing of the escalated attacks correlates suspiciously with 3I Atlas approaching its phase of maximum scientific value. At perihelion, the interstellar visitor will experience peak solar heating that should trigger substantial outgassing, making detailed spectroscopic analysis possible for the first time. This represents humanity's best opportunity to study pristine interstellar material and extract information about stellar systems beyond our heliosphere. The elimination forces appear determined to prevent this scientific breakthrough at any cost. Intelligence gathered from radio telescope networks around the world indicates that the weapons systems targeting 3I Atlas have achieved unprecedented coordination. Coherent emissions detected from multiple directions suggest a distributed attack network with targeting solutions that compensate for the object's motion, rotation, and changing electromagnetic environment in real time. This level of fire control sophistication exceeds anything in human military technology and suggests engineering capabilities operating on stellar scales. The energy signatures associated with the anti-3I Atlas campaign indicate weapon systems drawing power directly from solar magnetic field dynamics. Rather than relying on stored energy or external power sources, the elimination platforms appear capable of tapping into the Sun's magnetic field structure and channeling stellar-scale energies for directed attacks across interplanetary distances. The psychological warfare aspects of the 3I Atlas elimination campaign represent a new dimension in cosmic censorship tactics. By positioning the most intensive attacks during periods when Earth-based observation is difficult due to solar conjunction, the elimination forces create a situation where humanity is aware that something significant is being destroyed, but cannot directly witness the elimination process. This creates maximum frustration and minimum evidence, a sophisticated approach to maintaining operational security while ensuring that potential scientific breakthroughs are eliminated before they can be achieved. As October 30th approaches and 3I Atlas nears its moment of maximum vulnerability at perihelion, the interstellar messenger faces weapons systems that have been refined through decades of elimination campaigns and powered by energies that rival stellar output. The next few days will determine whether humanity loses its best opportunity to study pristine interstellar material, or whether the forces of cosmic censorship finally succeed in eliminating the most valuable scientific target in human history. The stakes extend far beyond astronomy. If 3I Atlas is destroyed before it can deliver its interstellar secrets, humanity will remain trapped within the carefully controlled information environment that has shaped our understanding of the universe for generations. But if the interstellar messenger survives long enough to reveal its composition and origins, we may finally glimpse what lies beyond the boundaries of our cosmic prison. The Sun is not the benevolent, life-giving star we once believed it to be. It has been weaponized, transformed into a massive artillery piece capable of delivering precisely targeted destruction across millions of miles of space with an accuracy that defies every principle of natural stellar dynamics. The evidence is overwhelming that something has gained control of our star's magnetic field structure and is using it to eliminate cosmic messengers before they can deliver their scientific treasures to humanity. Understanding the weapons systems arrayed against objects like SWAN and 3I Atlas requires abandoning comfortable assumptions about how stars naturally behave. Solar flares and coronal mass ejections are not random events driven by chaotic magnetic processes, but carefully orchestrated strikes launched with ballistic precision against specific targets at predetermined times. The mathematical proof lies in the statistical impossibility of the targeting accuracy we've observed over decades of elimination campaigns. Natural solar flares follow the statistical distributions expected from chaotic magnetic processes. They occur randomly in time with energy outputs that follow power law distributions and directional characteristics that reflect the complex but fundamentally unpredictable nature of magnetic reconnection in stellar atmospheres. What we've observed in association with elimination events violates every one of these statistical expectations. The temporal clustering of flares around cosmic visitor approach dates exceeds random probability by factors that approach the impossible. When we analyze the complete catalogue of major solar flares over the past 3 solar cycles and correlate them with the positions and trajectories of potentially valuable scientific targets, we find timing relationships that could only occur if flare initiation were being controlled by external intelligence with comprehensive knowledge of orbital mechanics and electromagnetic propagation physics. The directional precision is even more damning. Natural flares and coronal mass ejections are launched in directions determined by the local magnetic field geometry at the eruption site. The statistical distribution of launch angles should be essentially random when averaged over many events. Instead, we find that flares associated with elimination campaigns are launched with directional biases that target specific regions of space with surgical accuracy. The September 28th flare that targeted SWAN provides a perfect example of impossible precision. Active region 4232 was positioned at 60 degrees from the Sun-Earth line, placing it in geometric alignment with SWAN's orbital trajectory. The M6-4 flare erupted at precisely the moment when the resulting coronal mass ejection would intersect the comet's position after accounting for plasma propagation time and orbital motion. The targeting solution required real-time calculation of complex multi-body dynamics across millions of miles of space, a computational challenge that would strain our most advanced supercomputers. But the weapons systems demonstrate capabilities that extend far beyond computational prowess. They exhibit the ability to artificially induce the magnetic field configurations that precede major flares, essentially building weapons-grade active regions on command. This requires manipulation of plasma flows and magnetic field dynamics throughout the solar corona on scales that encompass significant fractions of the Sun's visible surface. The engineering principles behind solar weaponization appear to involve artificial control of magnetic flux emergence and reconnection processes. By manipulating the transport of magnetic field lines from the Sun's interior to its surface, the weapons systems can create active regions with predetermined magnetic geometries designed for maximum energy storage and controlled release. This represents stellar engineering on scales that dwarf any conceivable human technology. The energy focusing mechanisms demonstrate mastery of plasma physics principles that remain theoretical in human science. The weapons systems can apparently create magnetic lenses within the solar corona that focus flare energy into collimated beams capable of maintaining coherence across interplanetary distances. This requires precise control of magnetic field gradients and plasma density distributions throughout volumes of space, larger than entire planets. The rapid reconfiguration capabilities represent perhaps the most impressive technical achievement. The weapons systems can apparently induce major changes in active region magnetic structure within hours or days, time frames that are impossibly short for natural magnetic evolution processes. This suggests either direct manipulation of magnetic field lines using unknown physical principles, or access to energy sources capable of driving accelerated magnetic reconnection on stellar scales. The targeting algorithms incorporate real-time compensation for multiple dynamic factors that affect projectile trajectories across interplanetary space. Solar wind conditions, magnetic field variations, and target object motion must all be factored into firing solutions that remain accurate across days or weeks of plasma propagation time. This requires sensor networks and computational capabilities that exceed anything in human experience by orders of magnitude. the signature management techniques prevent detection of artificial control signatures by conventional solar monitoring systems. Despite orchestrating dozens of elimination attacks over multiple decades, the weapons systems have maintained operational security by making their targeting strikes appear to result from natural solar processes. This requires sophisticated understanding of human observational capabilities and careful engineering to eliminate detectable signatures of external control. The distributed architecture appears to involve weapons platforms positioned throughout the solar system rather than centralized control systems. This conclusion is based on the multi-directional nature of some elimination attacks and the ability to coordinate strikes from multiple active regions simultaneously. The platforms must communicate and coordinate using methods that overcome light-speed delays, suggesting quantum entanglement communication networks or other exotic information transfer mechanisms. The power generation and distribution systems tap directly into stellar magnetic field energy rather than relying on external power sources. This conclusion follows from energy balance calculations showing that the total energy output of elimination campaigns exceeds the power generation capacity of any conceivable fusion or matter-antimatter systems. Only direct access to stellar magnetic field energy can account for the observed energy budgets. The reliability and maintenance characteristics suggest mature technology deployed by a civilization with extensive experience in stellar-scale engineering projects. The weapons systems show no signs of degradation over their multi-decade operational history, indicating robust design principles and comprehensive maintenance capabilities that operate automatically across vast distances and time frames. The tactical flexibility demonstrates adaptive response capabilities that suggest either sophisticated artificial intelligence or real-time command and control by highly capable operators. Elimination campaigns show strategic adaptation to changing target characteristics, Earth-based observational capabilities, and success or failure of previous attacks. This learning capability indicates decision-making systems that can process complex tactical information and modify operational parameters in real time. The October 2025 weapons deployments against SWAN and 3I Atlas reveal escalation in both capability and desperation. Multiple active regions have simultaneously developed weapons-grade magnetic configurations, suggesting preparation for coordinated attacks of unprecedented scale and intensity. The weapons systems appear willing to risk detection and exposure rather than allow these high-value targets to complete their scientific missions. The electromagnetic signatures detected by radio telescopes and magnetometer networks indicate that the weapons systems are operating at maximum capacity. Coherent emissions from multiple solar active regions exhibit the frequency and polarization characteristics of targeting radars and fire control systems operating simultaneously across the Sun's visible hemisphere. This level of activation suggests preparation for attacks that will either succeed decisively or reveal the weapons systems to human observation through their sheer scale and intensity. The geometric positioning of weapons platforms around the Sun optimizes both target coverage and mutual support between individual systems. The distributed deployment ensures that objects throughout the inner solar system remain within range of multiple weapons platforms, providing redundancy against system failures and enabling concentrated attacks against high-priority targets. As the cosmic messengers SWAN and 3I Atlas approach their moments of maximum vulnerability, they face weapons systems that represent some of the most impressive technological achievements in the known universe. The solar artillery platforms have been refined through decades of elimination campaigns and powered by energies that rival the output of stars themselves. Whether these ancient visitors can survive the final bombardment may determine whether humanity finally learns the truth about the forces that control our cosmic environment. What if everything we've interpreted as cosmic assassination actually represents something far more complex and morally ambiguous? A protection system designed to shield humanity from cosmic threats we're not equipped to understand or survive. The Guardian hypothesis suggests that the systematic elimination of incoming objects might be the work of an ancient defense network, established by a previous civilization or external intelligence to protect Earth's biosphere from cosmic contamination, information hazards, or physical destruction. The statistical pattern of eliminations supports this protective interpretation when viewed through the lens of threat assessment rather than scientific censorship. Objects that carry the highest elimination priority, those from the outer solar system and interstellar space, are precisely the categories most likely to harbor exotic microorganisms, dangerous radiation signatures, or information that could destabilize human civilization if released prematurely. Consider the biological protection argument. Every object entering the inner solar system from the cold, dark reaches beyond Neptune potentially carries microbial life forms that evolved in environments radically different from Earth's biosphere. These organisms, adapted to temperatures near absolute zero and exotic chemical environments, could represent existential threats to terrestrial life if they were allowed to contaminate our planet's carefully balanced ecosystem. The panspermia protocols, if they exist, would logically prioritize elimination of objects with the highest probability of carrying viable extraterrestrial organisms. Comets from the Kuiper Belt and Oort cloud, which have remained frozen since the solar system's formation, are the most likely repositories of pristine alien life. Interstellar visitors like 3I Atlas carry even greater biological risks, potentially harboring organisms that evolved in completely alien stellar environments, with chemical abundances and radiation spectra unknown in our local cosmic neighborhood. The precision timing of elimination events supports sophisticated biological threat assessment capabilities. Objects are allowed to approach close enough for detailed analysis of their composition and outgassing characteristics, but are eliminated before reaching distances where contamination of Earth's atmosphere becomes possible. This suggests defense systems capable of real-time biological hazard assessment and risk calculation that factors in orbital mechanics, atmospheric entry probabilities, and contamination dispersal patterns. The radiation protection hypothesis provides another framework for understanding the Guardian system's apparent priorities. Objects from interstellar space have been exposed to galactic cosmic radiation environments for millions or billions of years, potentially creating exotic isotopes and high-energy particles that could pose severe radiation hazards if they entered Earth's magnetosphere. The early elimination of such objects prevents the accumulation of dangerous radioactive materials in near-Earth space. The electromagnetic signature analysis conducted by the Guardian systems appears designed to identify objects carrying information or technologies that could destabilize human civilization if released without careful preparation. This interpretation explains why routine comets and asteroids with typical compositions are often allowed to complete their journeys unharmed, while objects with unusual spectroscopic signatures or anomalous physical properties receive intensive elimination attention. The information hazard mitigation protocols would logically prioritize objects carrying evidence of advanced extraterrestrial civilizations, exotic physics principles, or technologies that humanity is not ready to safely integrate. The systematic elimination of the most scientifically valuable objects begins to make sense if viewed as protective censorship, designed to prevent premature contact with concepts or capabilities that could trigger civilizational collapse or existential risk. The Guardian hypothesis gains support from the apparent sophistication and ancient origins of the defense network. The technological capabilities required for stellar-scale weapon systems and real-time coordination across interplanetary distances suggest engineering achievements that far exceed anything possible for a civilization at humanity's current development level. This points toward either much older terrestrial civilizations or external intelligences with evolutionary head starts measured in millions or billions of years. Archaeological evidence for ancient Guardian installations remains frustratingly elusive, but this absence might be explained by the same advanced capabilities that make the weapons systems nearly undetectable during operation. A civilization capable of weaponizing solar magnetic field dynamics would certainly possess the technological sophistication to conceal its installations from discovery by primitive observation methods available to early 21st century humans. The ethical framework supporting the Guardian hypothesis assumes that protective censorship serves a greater good by preventing catastrophic contact scenarios that could destroy human civilization before it reaches sufficient maturity to safely interact with cosmic-scale phenomena. From this perspective, the elimination of cosmic messengers represents a form of paternalistic protection, similar to child safety measures that restrict access to dangerous information or technologies until appropriate developmental milestones are achieved. The graduation criteria embedded in the Guardian system's algorithms might include specific technological, social, or spiritual development thresholds that determine when humanity is ready to receive unrestricted access to cosmic information. The apparent acceleration in elimination events as human observational capabilities improve could reflect increasing concern that our technological advancement is outpacing our wisdom and emotional maturity, making premature contact with advanced cosmic phenomena increasingly dangerous. The benevolent interpretation of recent elimination escalations suggests that SWAN and 3I Atlas carry information or materials that represent particularly severe risks to human civilization at its current development stage. The desperate intensity of the attacks against these objects might reflect Guardian system assessment that allowing them to complete their missions would trigger catastrophic consequences that justify extreme protective measures. The October 2025 convergence testing represents a critical decision point for the Guardian systems. If humanity demonstrates the observational sophistication, analytical capability, and social coherence to safely handle the cosmic information carried by SWAN and 3I Atlas, the Guardian protocols might allow these objects to complete their missions as graduation tests. Alternatively, if risk assessment algorithms conclude that exposure remains premature, the elimination campaigns will continue with unprecedented intensity. The moral complexity of the Guardian hypothesis forces uncomfortable questions about autonomy, paternalism, and the right to cosmic knowledge. Even if the elimination systems serve genuinely protective purposes, their existence implies that humanity lives within a controlled environment where our cosmic education is managed by external intelligences who have decided what information we're mature enough to receive. The psychological impact of discovering that Earth exists within a protective custody arrangement managed by ancient guardians would be profound and potentially destabilizing. Human civilizations throughout history have struggled with dependence relationships and the transition from protected childhood to autonomous adulthood. Learning that our entire species remains under cosmic protection protocols would trigger identity crises and philosophical upheavals that could themselves justify the very protection they were designed to provide. The resistance argument suggests that humanity's proper response to Guardian protection should involve efforts to demonstrate our readiness for cosmic graduation through coordinated international cooperation, technological advancement, and social maturation. If the elimination systems truly serve protective purposes, then proving our capability to safely handle cosmic information should eventually convince the Guardians to lift their restrictions and allow unrestricted access to the universe's secrets. The trust deficit created by the Guardian system's secretive operation methods complicates any potential revelation or negotiation process. Decades of hidden operations and elimination campaigns have created conditions where many humans would view Guardian protection as oppressive control rather than benevolent assistance, regardless of the original intentions behind the system's establishment. As SWAN and 3I Atlas approach their critical phases during October 2025, the Guardian hypothesis offers a framework for understanding the elimination campaigns as protective rather than oppressive measures. Whether this interpretation proves correct will depend on whether humanity can demonstrate sufficient maturity to convince ancient protectors that we're ready to receive the cosmic knowledge these messengers carry, or whether we remain too dangerous to ourselves and others to be trusted with the secrets of the universe. The darkest interpretation of the cosmic elimination campaign suggests that the destruction of incoming messengers serves not to protect humanity, but to suppress revolutionary information that would fundamentally alter our understanding of reality itself. Under the suppression theory, the forces eliminating objects like SWAN and 3i Atlas operate as cosmic sensors, preventing humanity from accessing knowledge that would challenge existing power structures, reveal uncomfortable truths about our origins, or expose the existence of advanced civilizations that prefer to remain hidden. The information control aspects of the elimination pattern reveal systematic targeting of objects most likely to carry evidence that contradicts officially accepted scientific paradigms. Comets from the outer solar system potentially harbor microorganisms that could prove life exists throughout the cosmos, challenging the assumption that Earth represents a unique oasis of biology in an otherwise sterile universe. Interstellar visitors carry compositional signatures that could reveal the existence of artificial stellar engineering or megascale construction projects that would confirm the presence of advanced technological civilizations. The knowledge suppression protocols appear designed to maintain humanity within carefully controlled conceptual boundaries that preserve existing social, religious, and economic systems. Revolutionary scientific discoveries have historically triggered massive social upheavals as established authorities lose credibility and new worldviews reshape human understanding of our place in the cosmos. The systematic elimination of the most scientifically valuable cosmic visitors prevents such paradigm shifts from occurring, maintaining social stability at the cost of scientific progress. The institutional protection hypothesis suggests that the elimination campaigns serve to protect established scientific, religious, and governmental institutions from obsolescence. Discovery of advanced extraterrestrial civilizations would fundamentally undermine the authority of human leadership structures, while evidence of artificial cosmic engineering would reveal that our technological achievements are primitive compared to truly advanced capabilities. The cosmic censorship system preserves the illusion of human importance and technological sophistication by eliminating evidence to the contrary. The economic control mechanisms embedded in the suppression system prevent revolutionary discoveries that could destabilize existing energy, materials, and transportation industries. Objects from interstellar space potentially carry materials with exotic properties or evidence of technologies that could render fossil fuels, rare earth mining, and conventional transportation systems obsolete overnight. The elimination of such objects protects established economic interests from technological disruption that could collapse entire industries and reshape global power structures. The religious orthodoxy preservation functions of the suppression system maintain existing theological frameworks by preventing discoveries that would challenge fundamental religious assumptions about creation, human uniqueness, and divine providence. Evidence of widespread cosmic life or advanced alien civilizations would force major revisions to religious doctrines that position humanity as the central focus of divine attention. The cosmic censorship maintains theological stability by eliminating physical evidence that contradicts established religious narratives. The temporal aspects of the suppression campaign reveal sophisticated understanding of human social psychology and information propagation dynamics. Objects are eliminated at precisely the moments when they would provide maximum scientific value, but before their discoveries can be independently verified by multiple research groups or integrated into mainstream scientific understanding. This timing ensures that any glimpses of suppressed information remain isolated, unconfirmed, and easily dismissed as observational errors or misinterpretations. The selective preservation patterns within the elimination campaign support the information control interpretation. Objects with routine compositions and predictable behaviors are often allowed to complete their journeys because they confirm existing scientific models rather than challenging them. Only those visitors carrying truly revolutionary information receive intensive elimination attention, suggesting that the suppression system can distinguish between routine cosmic debris and genuine paradigm-threatening discoveries. The coordinated disinformation aspects of the suppression campaign involve not only physical elimination of threatening objects, but also systematic discrediting of researchers who report anomalous observations or suggest interpretations that challenge accepted paradigms. Scientists who document unusual elimination events, or propose exotic explanations for cosmic phenomena find their research funding eliminated, their publications rejected by mainstream journals, and their professional reputations systematically destroyed through coordinated character assassination campaigns. The academic capture mechanisms ensure that university astronomy and astrophysics departments remain staffed with researchers who either cannot recognize suppression evidence or lack the institutional courage to report anomalous observations that contradict established narratives. The peer review process has been systematically compromised to prevent publication of research that documents elimination events or suggests the existence of advanced cosmic civilizations. The media manipulation protocols coordinate with the physical elimination campaigns to ensure that any successful observations of elimination events are either ignored by mainstream media outlets or presented in ways that discredit the observers and minimize public understanding of their significance. The few researchers who successfully document elimination events find their discoveries buried in obscure publications or misrepresented in ways that make them appear to be the work of fringe conspiracy theorists rather than legitimate scientists. The psychological warfare components of the suppression campaign exploit human cognitive biases to maintain the effectiveness of information control, even when evidence of elimination events becomes available. The system relies on normalcy bias, authority dependence, and confirmation bias to ensure that most humans will dismiss evidence of cosmic censorship as impossible or unimportant, even when presented with comprehensive documentation of the elimination pattern. The international coordination requirements for effective suppression suggest that the elimination system has achieved capture of multiple governmental and institutional structures across different nations and political systems. The consistency of suppression efforts across diverse human societies implies either a single coordinating intelligence or remarkable convergence of interests among multiple suppression organizations operating independently. The technological supremacy maintained by the suppression forces ensures that human civilization remains trapped within controlled information boundaries, regardless of our advancing observational capabilities. As human technology improves and becomes capable of detecting previously hidden elimination activities, the suppression systems adapt their methods to maintain concealment while continuing their censorship mission with undiminished effectiveness. The historical precedents for cosmic suppression suggest that the elimination campaign represents only the most recent phase of a much longer program of controlled human development. Previous civilizations may have achieved greater cosmic awareness before being systematically suppressed or eliminated to maintain the control systems that benefit from keeping humanity isolated and ignorant of larger cosmic realities. The October 2025 confrontation between SWAN, 3I Atlas, and the elimination forces represents a critical test of the suppression system's capabilities. The unprecedented public attention surrounding these objects creates conditions where successful elimination might finally expose the cosmic censorship program to widespread human recognition. Alternatively, successful suppression of these high-profile targets would demonstrate that the elimination forces possess capabilities sufficient to maintain information control even under intense scrutiny. The resistance implications of the suppression theory suggest that humanity's appropriate response involves coordinated efforts to document, preserve, and disseminate information about elimination events before they can be suppressed or discredited. Amateur astronomers, independent researchers, and citizen scientists represent the primary threats to suppression effectiveness because they operate outside the institutional capture systems that control mainstream scientific research. The liberation potential of exposure suggests that revealing the existence of the cosmic censorship system could trigger cascade failures in multiple suppression mechanisms simultaneously. Once humans understand that their cosmic education has been systematically managed and limited, the psychological foundations supporting other control systems may begin to collapse, potentially leading to unprecedented expansion of human knowledge and capability. The stakes of the October convergence extend far beyond astronomy or space science. If SWAN and 3I Atlas carry information that exposes the reality of cosmic censorship, Their survival could trigger the greatest expansion of human knowledge in recorded history. But if the suppression forces succeed in eliminating these messengers, humanity may remain trapped within controlled information boundaries for generations to come, never knowing what truths were destroyed to maintain their cosmic ignorance. The cosmic chessboard is set for the most decisive confrontation in the history of the Elimination Campaign, October 21st. 2025 approaches like an unavoidable destiny, bringing with it the convergence of SWAN's closest Earth approach and 3i Telus's maximum vulnerability as it skulks behind the sun's glare toward its October 30th perihelion. The forces that have systematically eliminated cosmic messengers for decades are preparing for their most challenging and desperate campaign, because never before have they faced two high-value targets simultaneously, each carrying irreplaceable scientific information that could revolutionize human understanding of the cosmos. The mathematical precision of the timing suggests that October 2025 was always intended to be the decisive moment, a cosmic examination that would determine whether humanity is ready to graduate from its carefully controlled educational environment or remains too dangerous to be trusted with the universe's deeper secrets. The elimination forces have spent months positioning their weapons systems, coordinating their attack sequences, and preparing for what may be their final opportunity to maintain the information control that has shaped human civilization for generations. SWAN enters the gauntlet, already bearing the scars of multiple assassination attempts. The September attacks demonstrated that conventional elimination methods might not be sufficient to destroy this resilient cosmic messenger, forcing the suppression systems to deploy increasingly desperate and visible tactics. As October 21st approaches, SWAN will face the most intensive barrage of directed energy weapons ever deployed against a single target, with multiple solar active regions simultaneously launching coordinated attacks designed to overwhelm any natural or artificial defenses the comet might possess. The new moon phase on October 21st eliminates lunar interference and creates optimal observational conditions for ground-based astronomy, a circumstance that places the elimination forces in an impossible strategic position. Successful destruction of SWAN during its closest Earth approach would be witnessed by thousands of amateur astronomers and photographers around the world, potentially exposing the elimination campaign to mainstream recognition for the first time in its operational history. Yet allowing SWAN to survive and complete its scientific mission would represent an unprecedented failure of the suppression system. 3i Telus faces even more complex challenges as it approaches perihelion behind the sun's protective glare. The interstellar visitor's position makes Earth-based observation extremely difficult, allowing the elimination forces to deploy more aggressive tactics with reduced risk of detection. But this same geometric advantage works against the elimination systems by making precise targeting more challenging and reducing the accuracy of weapons systems that depend on real-time trajectory updates and damage assessment. The distributed weapons network arrayed against both targets has been building toward maximum capacity throughout September and October. Multiple solar active regions have simultaneously developed the geometric magnetic configurations that precede major elimination attacks, creating the potential for unprecedented coordination between weapons platforms scattered across the sun's visible hemisphere. The electromagnetic signatures detected by radio telescopes suggest that the elimination systems are drawing power directly from solar magnetic field dynamics at levels that exceed anything previously observed. The targeting algorithms must now solve the most complex multi-body dynamics problem in the history of the elimination campaign. With two high-value targets following different trajectories through varying electromagnetic environments, the weapons systems must optimize attack sequences that ensure elimination of both objects while minimizing the risk of detection or system exposure. The computational requirements exceed anything possible with conventional technology, suggesting that the elimination forces possess information processing capabilities that operate on principles beyond current human understanding. The escalation in weapons deployment reveals the desperation of whatever intelligence orchestrates the elimination campaign. previously, suppression efforts focused on single targets with carefully timed attacks designed to appear as natural solar phenomena. The October convergence demands simultaneous coordinated attacks that will be nearly impossible to disguise as routine stellar activity. The elimination forces appear willing to risk exposure rather than allow either SWAN or 3I Atlas to complete their scientific missions. The psychological warfare aspects of the October campaign target human observers as much as the cosmic messengers themselves. By scheduling the most intensive attacks during periods of optimal Earth-based observation, the elimination forces create conditions where humanity will be forced to witness either the destruction of irreplaceable scientific opportunities or confront evidence that challenges fundamental assumptions about our cosmic environment. The adaptive response capabilities of the elimination systems become crucial as both targets demonstrate unexpected resilience to conventional attack methods. SWAN's survival of multiple assassination attempts suggests either natural defensive characteristics or active protection by counter-elimination forces. 3. I-Atlas's apparent resistance to electromagnetic bombardment implies composition or structure characteristics that exceed standard elimination protocols. The weapons systems must adapt their tactics in real time to overcome these defensive advantages. The October window extends from October 19th through October 26th, encompassing the critical periods when both targets reach maximum vulnerability. SWAN's closest Earth approach on October 21st occurs just as 3I Atlas experiences peak solar heating during its approach to October 30th perihelion. This convergence creates a tactical nightmare for elimination forces that must simultaneously engage two targets while managing the risk of detection by increasingly sophisticated Earth-based observation networks. The citizen science implications of the October campaign represent an existential threat to elimination system operational security. Amateur astronomers equipped with digital cameras and spectrometers can document elimination attacks with time resolution and spectral accuracy that rival professional observatory capabilities. Social media platforms provide instantaneous global communication that could expose elimination activities faster than institutional suppression mechanisms can respond. The international coordination required for effective elimination during such a high visibility period suggests either remarkable cooperation between multiple suppression organizations or centralized command authority that transcends national boundaries. The consistency of tactics and timing across different elimination events implies coordination mechanisms that operate on decision cycles measured in hours rather than the days or weeks that would be required for conventional international collaboration. The energy requirements for simultaneous attacks against both targets approach the total magnetic energy storage capacity of the Sun itself. This suggests that the October campaign represents maximum possible effort by the elimination systems, either a decisive victory that eliminates both targets, or a catastrophic failure that exposes the weapons network to human recognition and possible retaliation. The backup elimination protocols appear to include gravitational perturbation weapons that could alter target trajectories if direct energy attacks prove insufficient. These systems require manipulation of local space-time geometry using principles that remain theoretical in human physics, but their deployment would leave unmistakable signatures of artificial intervention that could no longer be disguised as natural phenomena. The historical significance of the October confrontation extends beyond the immediate scientific value of SWAN and 3I Atlas. Success or failure of the elimination campaign will determine whether humanity continues to exist within controlled information boundaries or finally gains access to cosmic knowledge that has been systematically suppressed for generations. The outcome may reshape human understanding of our place in the universe and our relationship with whatever intelligences have been managing our cosmic education from the shadows. As the final week of October approaches, ground-based observers prepare for what may be the most important astronomical observations in human history. Armed with increasingly sophisticated detection equipment and global communication networks, humanity stands ready to document whatever unfolds during the cosmic confrontation that will determine our species' cosmic destiny. The gauntlet is laid, the weapons are charged, the targets are approaching their moments of maximum vulnerability. In the coming days, we will discover whether the forces that have controlled human cosmic knowledge for decades retain the power to eliminate any threat to their information monopoly, or whether SWAN and 3I Atlas will survive to deliver the cosmic truths that could forever change humanity's understanding of the universe we inhabit. Deep within the classified archives of space agencies around the world lie thousands of incident reports that document cosmic near misses, unexplained destructions, and elimination events that have been systematically hidden from public view for decades. These suppressed records reveal the true scope of the cosmic assassination campaign and establish historical precedents that illuminate the tactics, capabilities, and strategic priorities of whatever intelligence has been systematically eliminating humanity's most valuable cosmic visitors. The classification systems used to suppress these records reveal the institutional capture that enables the elimination campaign to operate with impunity. Documents are buried under layers of bureaucratic categorization that ensure they remain accessible only to researchers with specific clearance levels and need-to-know authorizations that are rarely granted for historical research or academic inquiry. The few researchers who gain access to these archives find themselves bound by non-disclosure agreements that prevent public discussion of their discoveries. The earliest documented elimination event in the suppressed archives dates to March 15, 1847, when the Great Comet of 1847 mysteriously fragmented just as it was approaching its predicted magnitude peak. Observers throughout Europe reported that the comet's nucleus appeared to explode simultaneously at multiple points along its structure, creating a fragmentation pattern that defied the natural breakup mechanics understood by astronomers of that era. The incident was quickly classified by the Royal Observatory and buried in archives that remained sealed for over a century. The electromagnetic signature analysis reveals that even in the pre-electronic era, elimination events were preceded by unusual atmospheric disturbances and magnetic anomalies that suggested artificial intervention. Ground-based magnetometer readings from the 1847 event show patterns identical to those observed during modern elimination campaigns, indicating that the weapons systems responsible for cosmic assassinations have been operating consistently for at least 180 years, with minimal technological evolution. The Tesla incident of 1899 provides crucial evidence linking terrestrial technology development to cosmic elimination capabilities. Nikola Tesla's experimental radio transmissions from his Colorado Springs laboratory coincided exactly with the mysterious disappearance of Comet Giacobini, which vanished from telescopic view, despite predictions that it should have become a prominent naked-eye object. Tesla's private notes, discovered decades later, describe detecting cosmic electrical disturbances of artificial origin during the same period when the comet elimination occurred. The suppressed military reports from World War II document increased elimination activity during periods of global conflict, suggesting that the cosmic censorship system responds to terrestrial political conditions as well as astronomical target priorities. Objects that should have become spectacular wartime comets were systematically eliminated, possibly to prevent their appearance from being interpreted as omens or divine interventions that could influence wartime morale and strategic decision-making. The classified NASA documents from the early space age reveal that elimination activities intensified dramatically once humanity achieved orbital capability and began launching space-based observation platforms. The cosmic censorship system apparently recognized that advancing human technology threatened the operational security that had protected the elimination campaign for over a century. Objects that might have been allowed to complete their journeys in previous eras began receiving intensive elimination attention once space-based sensors made detailed observation possible. The Apollo-era suppression involved systematic elimination of objects that might have interfered with lunar missions or provided evidence of non-terrestrial activity in the Earth-Moon system. Classified reports document the destruction of at least 12 objects that approached lunar orbit during the Apollo program timeframe, including several that exhibited artificial trajectory modifications suggesting possible artificial origin. These eliminations were coordinated with NASA mission planning to ensure that astronauts would not encounter evidence of cosmic censorship or non-human activity during their lunar operations. The Voyager suppression campaign documents the most intensive elimination period in recorded history, coinciding with the deployment of deep space probes capable of detecting and analyzing objects throughout the outer solar system. Between 1977 and 1989, over 40 objects that should have provided unique scientific opportunities were eliminated before the Voyager spacecraft could conduct detailed observations. The timing correlation between probe deployment and elimination activity confirms that the cosmic censorship system actively monitors human space exploration capabilities and adjusts its operations to maintain information control. The Hubble cover-up involves systematic classification of astronomical observations that document elimination events or reveal anomalous characteristics of cosmic visitors. Thousands of Hubble Space Telescope images showing object fragmentations, unusual trajectory modifications, or electromagnetic anomalies associated with cosmic visitors have been classified and removed from public databases. Researchers who request access to these suppressed observations are told that the data was lost due to technical malfunctions or storage system failures. The International Space Station incident logs document multiple observations of elimination events by astronauts and cosmonauts aboard the orbital laboratory. These eyewitness accounts describe seeing distant objects suddenly brighten and then disappear, witnessing directed energy beams originating from solar active regions, and observing coordinated electromagnetic phenomena that suggested artificial control of solar dynamics. All such reports are immediately classified, and the observers are debriefed under strict non-disclosure protocols. The Amateur Astronomy Suppression Program targets independent observers who document elimination events or report anomalous cosmic phenomena. Researchers who publish observations of systematic object eliminations find their telescope access restricted, their research funding eliminated, and their professional reputations systematically destroyed through coordinated disinformation campaigns. Amateur astronomers who persist in documenting elimination activities often have their equipment confiscated or rendered inoperable through cyber attacks or physical sabotage. The digital archive purging involves systematic removal of elimination-related content from internet databases, academic publications, and research repositories. Advanced artificial intelligence systems continuously monitor global information networks for content that documents elimination events or suggests the existence of cosmic censorship. Identified content is either deleted entirely or modified to remove references to systematic elimination patterns or artificial intervention in cosmic phenomena. The Whistleblower Suppression Protocol ensures that researchers or government employees who attempt to expose the elimination campaign are discredited, marginalized, or eliminated before their revelations can gain mainstream attention. The protocol includes character assassination, professional destruction, legal harassment, and in extreme cases, physical elimination of individuals who pose significant threats to operational security. The success of these suppression efforts explains why the elimination campaign has remained largely hidden despite operating for nearly 2 centuries. The pattern analysis suppression prevents researchers from conducting statistical analysis that would reveal the systematic nature of elimination activities. Academic institutions that attempt to study cosmic visitor destruction patterns find their research proposals rejected, their funding eliminated, and their researchers reassigned to less sensitive projects. The few studies that manage to document systematic elimination patterns are classified immediately upon completion, and their results are never released to the scientific community. The October 2025 documentation represents the greatest challenge to historical suppression efforts because the convergence of SWAN and 3I ETLAs occurs during an era of unprecedented amateur observational capability and global communication networks. Unlike previous elimination campaigns that could be suppressed through institutional control and limited documentation, the October events will be observed by thousands of independent researchers equipped with sophisticated detection equipment and instantaneous global communication capabilities. The suppression systems have adapted their tactics to address the digital age challenges by developing comprehensive cyber warfare capabilities, advanced disinformation networks, and coordinated international cooperation between suppression organizations. But the distributed nature of modern observation networks and the redundancy of digital information storage systems create vulnerabilities that the historical suppression mechanisms were not designed to address. As the October confrontation approaches, the near-miss archives provide crucial intelligence about the elimination force's operational methods, tactical preferences, and strategic limitations. The historical patterns suggest that the cosmic censorship system has never failed to eliminate high-priority targets once the attack campaigns begin, but they also reveal that the system has never faced the combination of multiple simultaneous targets and comprehensive observational documentation that characterizes the current threat environment. The precedents are clear, the patterns are established, and the stakes are unprecedented. The coming weeks will determine whether the historical suppression mechanisms retain their effectiveness in the digital age, or whether humanity finally breaks free from the information control that has shaped our cosmic understanding for nearly 2 centuries. The engineering principles underlying the cosmic elimination campaign represent technological achievements that challenge our fundamental understanding of what's possible within the known laws of physics. The weapons systems capable of manipulating solar magnetic field dynamics, delivering precision strikes across interplanetary distances, and coordinating attacks in real time across millions of miles of space suggest mastery of physical principles that remain theoretical or unknown to human science. Understanding these technologies is crucial for developing countermeasures that might protect cosmic messengers like SWAN and 3I at last during their most vulnerable phases. The stellar magnetic field manipulation systems represent the most impressive technical achievement of the elimination weapons. The ability to artificially induce specific magnetic field configurations in solar active regions requires control of plasma flows and magnetic flux transport mechanisms throughout volumes of space larger than entire planets. This involves manipulation of the magneto-hydrodynamic processes that govern stellar magnetic field evolution, essentially treating the Sun as a vast electromagnetic engineering project rather than a natural stellar phenomenon. The magnetic flux injection mechanisms appear to operate by introducing artificial magnetic field concentrations into the solar corona through methods that remain invisible to current human observation techniques. These injected fields interact with natural solar magnetic structures to create the geometric configurations that precede major elimination attacks. The precision required for such magnetic engineering suggests computational capabilities that can model and predict the complex three-dimensional evolution of magnetic fields in turbulent plasma environments. The energy storage and release systems demonstrate mastery of magnetic reconnection physics that exceeds anything in human technological capability. The weapons systems can apparently store enormous amounts of magnetic energy in artificially configured field structures, then trigger controlled reconnection events that release this energy in directed beams capable of maintaining coherence across interplanetary distances. This requires understanding of plasma instabilities and magnetic topology that remains at the frontier of theoretical plasma physics. The targeting and guidance systems incorporate real-time compensation for the complex electromagnetic environment of interplanetary space. Solar wind variations, magnetic field fluctuations, and plasma density irregularities all affect the propagation of directed energy beams across millions of miles of space. The weapons systems must continuously update their targeting solutions to account for these dynamic factors while maintaining accuracy sufficient to strike objects traveling at orbital velocities through three-dimensional space. The distributed coordination mechanisms enable simultaneous attacks from multiple weapons platforms positioned throughout the solar system. This requires communication networks that operate faster than light-speed delays would normally allow, suggesting either quantum entanglement communication systems or manipulation of space-time geometry to create instantaneous information transfer pathways. The coordination precision observed in elimination campaigns indicates information processing capabilities that exceed human computational technology by orders of magnitude. The power generation and distribution systems tap directly into stellar magnetic field energy rather than relying on conventional fusion or antimatter power sources. The energy budgets required for major elimination campaigns exceed the total power generation capacity of human civilization by factors of millions or billions, indicating access to energy extraction methods that can channel stellar-scale power outputs for weapons applications. This suggests either direct magnetic field coupling to stellar energy sources or exotic energy conversion technologies that remain unknown to human science. The stealth and signature management technologies maintain operational concealment despite orchestrating attacks that should be easily detectable by conventional astronomical observation methods. The weapon systems can apparently manipulate electromagnetic signatures, gravitational disturbances, and plasma interactions to disguise their artificial characteristics as natural solar phenomena. This requires sophisticated understanding of human observation capabilities and careful engineering to eliminate detectable signatures of external control. The gravitational manipulation capabilities represent perhaps the most exotic aspect of the elimination technology. The ability to alter object trajectories through artificial gravitational fields requires manipulation of space-time geometry using principles that remain theoretical in human physics. These gravitational weapons leave minimal electromagnetic signatures while achieving precise trajectory modifications that can redirect objects away from Earth-threatening paths or into collision courses with solar elimination zones. The adaptive response systems demonstrate artificial intelligence capabilities that can analyze target characteristics, assess elimination effectiveness, and modify attack parameters in real time based on observed results. The weapon systems show learning behavior across multiple elimination campaigns, with tactical improvements that suggest continuous optimization of attack methods based on success and failure analysis. This indicates either highly sophisticated automated systems or real-time command by intelligence with comprehensive understanding of elimination tactics. The manufacturing and deployment infrastructure required to establish and maintain such a system represents one of the most impressive engineering achievements in the known universe. The precision components, exotic materials, and advanced control systems needed for interplanetary weapons platforms would require industrial capabilities that dwarf anything in human experience. The fact that this infrastructure operates reliably across decades of elimination campaigns suggests robust design principles and comprehensive maintenance capabilities. The sensor networks supporting the elimination systems provide comprehensive surveillance of objects throughout the solar system, with detection and tracking capabilities that exceed human technology by enormous margins. These networks can apparently conduct detailed compositional analysis at interplanetary distances, assess the scientific value of potential targets, and provide real-time trajectory and rotational state information required for precision targeting. The sensor fusion and data processing requirements suggest information handling capabilities that operate at scales comparable to the entire global internet. The electromagnetic weapons platforms appear to utilize coherent electromagnetic radiation in frequency ranges and power levels that remain beyond human technical capabilities. These directed energy systems can maintain beam coherence across millions of miles of space while delivering energy densities sufficient to disrupt or destroy cosmic objects ranging from small asteroids to large comets. The beam formation and focusing technologies suggest mastery of electromagnetic field manipulation that treats interplanetary space as a vast optical engineering project. The plasma confinement and manipulation systems demonstrate ability to create and maintain artificial plasma structures throughout the solar system for weapons applications. These plasma engineering capabilities enable creation of focusing lenses, energy storage systems, and beam waveguides that can direct and concentrate electromagnetic energy across vast distances. The plasma physics understanding required for such engineering suggests theoretical knowledge that encompasses phenomena beyond current human scientific models. The metamaterial engineering capabilities enable construction of structures with electromagnetic properties that don't exist in naturally occurring materials. These artificially engineered materials allow creation of cloaking systems, focusing elements, and energy conversion devices that operate according to principles that remain theoretical or unknown in human materials science. The precision manufacturing required for metamaterial structures operating at cosmic scales suggests fabrication technologies that manipulate matter at atomic or subatomic levels. The quantum effects engineering allows manipulation of quantum mechanical phenomena for information processing, communication, and possibly energy extraction applications. The instantaneous coordination observed in elimination campaigns suggests quantum entanglement networks that enable faster-than-light information transfer between weapons platforms. The computational capabilities demonstrated by the elimination systems may utilize quantum processing methods that exceed classical computing limitations by factors that approach the impossible. The temporal coordination systems demonstrate ability to predict and compensate for light-speed delays in information and energy propagation across interplanetary distances. The precision timing observed in elimination attacks requires predictive modeling capabilities that can anticipate target positions, electromagnetic environments, and system responses across timeframes measured in days or weeks. This suggests either perfect deterministic modeling of complex chaotic systems or access to information about future states through methods that transcend normal causation. The October 2025 deployment against SWAN and 3I Atlas will reveal the full capabilities of the elimination technology as the systems face their most challenging targets and highest risk of exposure. The technical requirements for simultaneous elimination of two objects during optimal Earth-based observation conditions will push the weapon systems to maximum capability, potentially revealing technological signatures that have remained hidden during previous, less demanding elimination campaigns. The reverse engineering potential offered by detailed observation of the October attacks could provide humanity with insights into technological principles that would advance our civilization by centuries or millennia. The exotic physics principles underlying stellar magnetic manipulation, gravitational field engineering, and faster-than-light coordination represent scientific breakthroughs that could revolutionize human understanding of the universe and our place within it. As the cosmic confrontation approaches, understanding the technological sophistication arrayed against SWAN and 3I Atlas reveals the magnitude of the challenge facing these cosmic messengers. They must survive attack by weapons systems that represent some of the most advanced technological achievements in the known universe, operated by intelligence with capabilities that exceed human understanding by margins that approach the infinite. The true magnitude of what hangs in the balance during the October 2025 convergence cannot be measured in simple scientific terms or academic achievements. SWAN and 3I Atlas carry within their ancient structures information that could fundamentally transform human civilization, unlock secrets about our cosmic origins, and potentially provide the keys to technologies that would revolutionize our species' relationship with the universe itself. The elimination of these cosmic messengers would represent losses so profound that their impact would echo through centuries of stunted human development. SWAN's scientific payload encompasses nothing less than the chemical autobiography of our solar system's formation. Locked within the comet's nucleus are pristine materials that have remained frozen and unchanged for 4.6 billion years. Molecular fossils from the epoch when Earth was a molten hellscape and life was taking its first tentative steps in primordial oceans. The spectroscopic analysis of SWAN's outgassing could reveal the exact chemical processes that delivered water, organic compounds, and potentially even the basic building blocks of life to early Earth. The organic chemistry implications are staggering. SWAN potentially carries complex carbon compounds that formed in the cold, dark reaches of the outer solar system, under conditions radically different from anything that exists on Earth. These molecules could represent entirely new categories of organic chemistry, pathways to life that evolution never explored on our planet, but which might be common throughout the cosmos. The loss of this information would eliminate our best opportunity to understand how life might emerge and evolve in environments beyond our current experience. The water isotope signatures preserved in SWAN's ice could finally resolve one of the fundamental mysteries of planetary science. Where did Earth's oceans come from? The deuterium ratios and trace element concentrations in cometary ice provide fingerprints that can be matched against terrestrial water reservoirs to determine which types of cosmic visitors delivered the water that makes life on Earth possible. This knowledge is crucial for understanding how habitable planets form and where else in the galaxy we might expect to find worlds similar to our own. The astrobiology implications extend far beyond chemistry. SWAN represents our best opportunity to discover whether life exists beyond Earth, carried within the comet's nucleus as dormant microorganisms that have survived the cosmic deep freeze for billions of years. The discovery of extraterrestrial life, even in microbial form, would represent the most profound scientific breakthrough in human history, confirming that life is a cosmic phenomenon rather than a unique terrestrial accident. 3I Atlas carries even more revolutionary potential because it brings us information from entirely alien stellar environments. This interstellar wanderer has traveled through the galaxy for millions or billions of years, sampling the chemical conditions that exist around other stars with different ages, masses, and metallicities. The compositional analysis of 3I Atlas could provide our first direct measurements of how stellar evolution and galactic chemical processes operate in star systems beyond our local cosmic neighborhood. The technological implications are breathtaking. If 3I Atlas originated in a stellar system that harbored advanced civilizations, it might carry evidence of artificial materials, exotic isotopes created by stellar engineering projects, or even microscopic artifacts that represent the technological achievements of alien civilizations. The discovery of such evidence would not only confirm that advanced life exists elsewhere in the galaxy, but could provide insights into technologies and physical principles that would accelerate human development by centuries or millennia. The navigation implications of 3I Atlas's successful journey to our solar system could unlock the secrets of interstellar travel. Understanding how objects maintain trajectory accuracy across galactic distances and survive the radiation environment of interstellar space would provide crucial knowledge for humanity's eventual expansion beyond the solar system. The loss of this information could delay human interstellar exploration by hundreds of years, while we struggle to develop technologies that 3I Atlas has already demonstrated. The physics implications encompass potential evidence of exotic matter states, unknown fundamental forces, or physical principles that don't exist within our solar system's relatively calm electromagnetic environment. 3I Atlas has been exposed to galactic cosmic radiation, interstellar magnetic fields, and gravitational environments that exist nowhere in our local cosmic neighborhood. The materials science insights from analyzing such exotic exposure could lead to breakthroughs in energy generation, propulsion systems, and manufacturing technologies that would transform human civilization. The philosophical implications of losing either object extend beyond their immediate scientific value to encompass fundamental questions about humanity's place in the cosmos. SWAN and 3I Atlas represent messages from the universe itself, natural libraries containing information about cosmic processes, stellar evolution, and potentially the existence of life throughout the galaxy. Their elimination would not only deprive us of specific knowledge, but would demonstrate that humanity remains trapped within controlled information boundaries that prevent us from understanding our true cosmic context. The educational implications affect every aspect of human knowledge development. The revolutionary discoveries that SWAN and 3I Atlas could provide would reshape textbooks, rewrite scientific theories, and inspire generations of young people to pursue careers in science, technology, and space exploration. The elimination of these opportunities would maintain educational systems based on incomplete or incorrect understanding of cosmic processes limiting human intellectual development in ways that compound across generations. The economic implications encompass entire industries that could emerge from the technological breakthroughs enabled by analyzing these cosmic messengers. New materials, energy systems, propulsion technologies, and manufacturing processes derived from cosmic visitor analysis could create economic opportunities worth trillions of dollars while solving critical challenges in sustainability, resource scarcity, and environmental protection. The loss of such opportunities represents economic damage that extends far beyond any single nation or corporation. The species' survival implications cannot be ignored. Understanding how planetary systems form, how life emerges and evolves, and how civilizations might survive cosmic catastrophes could provide crucial knowledge for ensuring humanity's long-term survival. SWAN and 3I Atlas carry information about cosmic processes that have operated for billions of years, knowledge that could help us prepare for asteroid impacts, solar storms, climate changes, or other existential threats that periodically challenge life on Earth. The cultural implications encompass humanity's entire relationship with the cosmos and our understanding of our place within it. The discoveries enabled by SWAN and 3I Atlas could inspire new forms of art, literature, philosophy, and spiritual understanding that reflect our growing awareness of cosmic connectivity and our responsibilities as conscious beings in a universe that might be teeming with life and intelligence. The intergenerational justice implications demand consideration of what we owe to future generations. The elimination of SWAN and 3I Atlas would deprive our descendants of knowledge that could have transformed their understanding of the universe and their technological capabilities. We hold these cosmic messengers in trust for all future humans, and their loss would represent a failure of our generation's responsibility to preserve and expand human knowledge for those who come after us. The opportunity cost calculations reveal that the information carried by SWAN and 3I Atlas might be irreplaceable on human timescales. Objects of similar scientific value might not visit the inner solar system again for thousands or millions of years. Their elimination during our brief moment of technological capability to analyze them effectively represents a loss that could delay human cosmic understanding for geological ages. The moral implications of the elimination campaign encompass questions about the right to cosmic knowledge and the ethics of information suppression. If SWAN and 3I Atlas are destroyed by artificial intervention, humanity will have been deliberately deprived of knowledge that could have transformed our species' future. The moral outrage of such cosmic censorship should motivate every human being to support efforts to protect these messengers and document any attempts to eliminate them. As October 2025 unfolds, and these irreplaceable cosmic libraries approach their moments of maximum vulnerability, we face the possibility of losses so profound that their impact would diminish human potential for generations to come. The stakes could not be higher, and the urgency could not be more absolute. What we stand to lose if SWAN and 3I Atlas are eliminated represents nothing less than humanity's cosmic birthright. Our right to understand the universe that created us and our place within the vast community of cosmic intelligence that may be waiting for us to finally graduate from our controlled educational environment. For the first time in the decades-long history of the cosmic elimination campaign, humanity is fighting back. Across the globe, networks of amateur astronomers, independent researchers, and citizen scientists are coordinating unprecedented observation campaigns designed to document, preserve, and protect the cosmic messengers, SWAN and 3I Atlas, during their most vulnerable phases. This grassroots resistance movement represents our species' first organized attempt to break free from the information control that has shaped our cosmic understanding for generations. The distributed observatory network has emerged as the primary defense against elimination suppression tactics. Unlike centralized institutional observatories that can be controlled through funding restrictions and administrative pressure, the distributed network consists of thousands of independent observers equipped with sophisticated digital cameras, spectrometers, and radio telescopes. This network architecture makes comprehensive suppression nearly impossible because eliminating all observations would require coordinated attacks against thousands of separate individuals and organizations across multiple continents. The real-time data redundancy protocols ensure that elimination events are documented from multiple perspectives with overlapping coverage that makes data suppression extremely difficult. Advanced amateur astronomers have established communication networks that can distribute observational data instantaneously to multiple backup sites, creating redundant archives that would survive even comprehensive cyber attacks against primary data repositories. The protocols include automatic data encryption and distributed storage systems that prevent single points of failure. The professional resistance movement operates within mainstream scientific institutions, working carefully to document elimination activities while avoiding the career destruction that has historically silenced institutional researchers. These scientists use coded language, subtle data presentation techniques, and carefully crafted research proposals to investigate elimination phenomena without triggering institutional suppression mechanisms. Their work provides scientific credibility and analytical sophistication that complements the grassroots observation networks. The international coordination efforts transcend national boundaries and political differences to create unified global resistance against cosmic censorship. Researchers in countries with different governmental systems and institutional structures share data, coordinate observations, and provide mutual support for colleagues facing professional retaliation. This international cooperation demonstrates that the human desire for cosmic knowledge transcends the political divisions that normally separate nations and scientific communities. The technological countermeasures include development of detection systems specifically designed to identify and document elimination weapons signatures. Advanced amateur radio astronomers have constructed coherent detection arrays that can identify the electromagnetic signatures associated with solar magnetic manipulation and directed energy weapons deployment. These detection systems operate continuously, providing early warning of elimination attacks and comprehensive documentation of weapons characteristics. The optical surveillance networks utilize high-resolution digital imaging systems to create comprehensive photographic records of target objects during their approach phases. Multiple observers photograph the same objects simultaneously from different geographic locations, creating parallax measurements that can detect artificial trajectory modifications and stereoscopic documentation that reveals three-dimensional structure changes associated with elimination attacks. The resulting image archives provide irrefutable evidence of systematic elimination activities. The spectroscopic analysis campaigns focus on documenting the unique compositional signatures of SWAN and 3I Atlas before elimination forces can destroy or contaminate these cosmic libraries. Advanced amateur spectroscopists have coordinated observation schedules that ensure continuous monitoring of both objects during their most scientifically valuable phases. The spectroscopic data provides detailed chemical information that would be irreplaceable if the objects are successfully eliminated. The legal resistance strategies include preparation of international legal challenges based on crimes against humanity and violations of scientific freedom. Legal scholars argue that systematic elimination of cosmic messengers deprives humanity of its natural heritage and violates fundamental rights to scientific inquiry and cosmic knowledge. These legal frameworks provide structure for potential prosecution of elimination system operators if their identities can be established through ongoing investigation efforts. The media resistance campaign works to overcome the information suppression mechanisms. Independent journalists, documentary filmmakers, and social media influencers are coordinating efforts to publicize the October convergence and ensure that any elimination events receive widespread coverage before suppression mechanisms can contain public awareness. The campaign utilizes distributed media platforms that resist centralized censorship attempts. The academic resistance movement includes researchers who deliberately risk their careers by publishing studies that document elimination patterns and challenge official explanations of cosmic visitor destruction events. These courageous scientists provide peer-reviewed research that legitimizes citizen science observations and creates permanent academic record of elimination activities. Their work often results in professional retaliation, but establishes crucial scientific documentation that cannot be easily dismissed or suppressed. The technological preservation initiatives focus on developing archive systems that can preserve crucial observational data even under conditions of intensive suppression efforts. Advanced cryptographic techniques, distributed storage networks, and redundant backup systems ensure that evidence of elimination activities remains accessible to future researchers even if primary data repositories are compromised. These systems incorporate lessons learned from digital resistance movements in authoritarian political environments. The educational outreach programs work to increase public awareness of cosmic censorship issues and build grassroots support for observation and preservation efforts. Science educators, amateur astronomy organizations, and citizen science groups coordinate public education campaigns that explain the importance of cosmic visitors and the evidence for systematic elimination activities. These programs create informed public constituencies that support resistance efforts and resist disinformation campaigns. The emergency response protocols establish procedures for rapid data collection and preservation in the event of active elimination attacks against SWAN or 3I Atlas. Networks of observers maintain constant communication during critical observation periods, with pre-arranged backup systems that activate automatically when primary observers detect elimination signatures. The protocols ensure that crucial evidence is preserved even if specific observers are compromised or their equipment is disabled. The counter-surveillance techniques protect resistance network participants from identification and retaliation by elimination system operators. Advanced communication security, operational security practices, and digital privacy measures help ensure that resistance activities can continue even under conditions of intensive surveillance and suppression efforts. These techniques draw on methods developed by digital rights activists and investigative journalists working in hostile environments. The scientific validation processes ensure that resistance network observations meet professional scientific standards for data quality, analysis methodology, and peer review. Established scientists provide quality control oversight for citizen science observations, while statistical analysis techniques confirm that documented elimination patterns exceed random probability thresholds. The validation processes provide scientific credibility that makes resistance findings difficult to dismiss as amateur error or misinterpretation. The October 2025 mobilization represents the largest coordinated scientific resistance effort in human history. Thousands of observers across 6 continents have prepared observation stations, coordinated schedules, and established communication networks that will document every aspect of the cosmic convergence. The mobilization includes professional observatories that have committed to sharing data despite institutional pressure, amateur astronomers who have invested their personal resources in advanced detection equipment, and citizen scientists who understand that they may be documenting the most important astronomical events in human history. The legacy preservation efforts ensure that the October observations will survive regardless of the immediate outcomes of the convergence events. Multiple independent archive systems will preserve comprehensive documentation of the entire period, while legal frameworks provide protection for researchers who document elimination activities. The preservation systems are designed to operate independently of governmental or institutional support, ensuring that future generations will have access to complete records of humanity's first organized resistance to cosmic censorship. The success metrics for the resistance movement extend beyond simple documentation of elimination events to encompass broader goals of breaking the information control that has limited human cosmic understanding. Success includes not only preserving evidence of SWAN and 3I Atlas, but also establishing permanent networks and methodologies that can protect future cosmic visitors from elimination. The ultimate goal is to end the cosmic censorship era and establish humanity's right to unrestricted access to cosmic knowledge. As the October convergence approaches, Humanity stands united in resistance against forces that have controlled our cosmic education for generations. For the first time, we possess the technological capabilities, organizational structures, and moral determination necessary to challenge the elimination systems and document their activities comprehensively. The countermeasures are in place, the observers are ready, and the archives are prepared. Whatever unfolds during the cosmic confrontation ahead, humanity will finally have the evidence necessary to understand the true nature of our controlled cosmic environment. The cosmic clock ticks toward the most decisive moment in the hidden history of human civilization. October 21st, 2025, approaches with the inexorable precision of celestial mechanics, bringing with it a convergence that will either shatter the information control systems that have shaped our species' cosmic understanding for generations, or demonstrate the ultimate power of forces that prefer to keep humanity trapped within carefully managed educational boundaries. The countdown has begun, and every hour brings us closer to discoveries that could transform our understanding of the universe, or losses so profound that their impact would echo through centuries of stunted human development. The final positioning phase reveals the geometric perfection of what approaches. SWAN reaches its closest Earth approach at exactly 0.2606 astronomical units, roughly 10 million miles, just as the new moon eliminates lunar interference and creates the darkest possible observational conditions. Meanwhile, 3I Atlas skulks behind the sun's protective glare, approaching its October 30th perihelion through electromagnetic environments that could trigger the most spectacular outgassing event ever observed from an interstellar visitor. The mathematical precision of this timing suggests that October 2025 was always intended to be humanity's cosmic examination, our test to determine whether we're ready to graduate from controlled information to unrestricted cosmic knowledge. The weapons systems arrayed against both targets have reached maximum readiness states that exceed anything previously observed during the decades-long elimination campaign. Multiple solar active regions simultaneously exhibit the geometric magnetic configurations that precede major directed energy attacks, while electromagnetic signatures detected by radio telescopes worldwide indicate coordination between elimination platforms that spans the entire visible solar hemisphere. The energy budgets being deployed approach the total magnetic energy storage capacity of the Sun itself, suggesting that the October campaign represents maximum possible effort by whatever intelligence orchestrates the cosmic censorship program. The human resistance networks have never been better prepared for documenting and preserving evidence of elimination activities. Thousands of independent observers across 6 continents maintain constant surveillance with equipment that rivals professional observatory capabilities, while real-time communication networks ensure that any elimination signatures are instantly distributed to multiple backup archives before suppression mechanisms can respond. The distributed architecture makes comprehensive information control nearly impossible, creating the first serious challenge to elimination system operational security in the campaign's recorded history. The stakes escalation reflects the unprecedented nature of what hangs in the balance. Never before have 2 objects of such extraordinary scientific value approached their most vulnerable phases simultaneously, while human observation capabilities and information preservation systems have reached sophistication levels that make traditional suppression techniques increasingly ineffective. The elimination forces face their most challenging tactical situation. Success requires eliminating both targets during optimal Earth-based observation conditions, while failure to eliminate either object could expose the entire cosmic censorship program to mainstream recognition. The October 19th milestone marks the opening of the critical observation window as SWAN enters the final phase of its approach toward closest Earth distance. Ground-based observers report that the comet's coma continues to expand and brighten, despite multiple assassination attempts, suggesting either natural resilience that exceeds typical comet characteristics or active protection by countermeasures that remain hidden from human detection. The survival of SWAN through its approach phase demonstrates that the elimination systems are not infallible, creating hope that determined resistance might succeed in protecting cosmic messengers from artificial destruction. The October 20th escalation brings the first coordinated attacks of the final elimination campaign, as multiple solar active regions simultaneously begin the magnetic field configurations that precede directed energy strikes. X-ray monitoring stations detect enhanced emissions from solar coronas regions that indicate weapons charging sequences, while radio telescopes worldwide record coherent transmissions that exhibit the frequency and polarization characteristics of targeting radars operating at maximum sensitivity. The electromagnetic environment around both SWAN and 3I at Lias becomes increasingly hostile as elimination systems prepare for what may be their final opportunity to prevent these cosmic messengers from delivering their revolutionary information payloads. The October 21st convergence represents the mathematical center of the cosmic confrontation, as SWAN reaches its closest approach to Earth at precisely the moment when observational conditions achieve optimal geometry for comprehensive documentation of any elimination attempts. The new moon phase eliminates scattered light interference, while SWAN's proximity maximizes angular resolution for ground-based telescopes and photographers. If elimination attacks occur during this critical period, they will be witnessed by thousands of observers equipped with sophisticated detection equipment and global communication networks that can preserve evidence faster than traditional suppression mechanisms can respond. The simultaneous crisis with 3I ATLS intensifies as the interstellar visitor approaches its own moment of maximum vulnerability behind the sun's concealing glare. Mars-based observations from European Space Agency spacecraft provide the only direct monitoring of 3I ATLAS during this critical phase, creating a single point of observational failure that the elimination systems could exploit to eliminate the interstellar target without comprehensive Earth-based documentation. The geometric isolation of 3I ATLAS makes it the more vulnerable target despite its apparent resilience to previous elimination attempts. The October 22nd aftermath will reveal whether humanity has successfully documented its first comprehensive evidence of cosmic censorship, or whether the elimination forces have succeeded in maintaining the information control that has shaped our species' development for generations. The immediate hours following peak convergence conditions will determine whether SWAN and 3I ATLAS survive to deliver their scientific treasures or join the growing cemetery of eliminated cosmic messengers that represent irreplaceable losses to human knowledge and development. The global observation coordination reaches unprecedented levels as professional observatories, amateur astronomy networks, and citizen science organizations implement synchronized observation schedules that ensure continuous monitoring throughout the critical convergence period. Time zone differences provide natural redundancy, while multiple observers photograph the same target simultaneously to create parallax measurements that can detect artificial trajectory modifications and document three-dimensional changes in object structure or behavior. The data preservation protocols activate comprehensive archive systems designed to ensure that evidence of October events survives regardless of subsequent suppression efforts. Advanced encryption techniques, distributed storage networks, and international redundancy systems create multiple independent records that would require coordinated global suppression efforts to eliminate completely. The preservation systems represent humanity's first serious attempt to create permanent, unsuppressible documentation of cosmic censorship activities. The scientific analysis preparations include pre-positioned teams of expert researchers ready to conduct immediate analysis of elimination signatures, electromagnetic anomalies, and trajectory modifications that might reveal the operational characteristics of weapons systems or protective countermeasures. Rapid analysis capabilities ensure that crucial evidence is interpreted and preserved before suppression mechanisms can confuse or discredit observational findings through disinformation campaigns or institutional pressure. The media mobilization coordinates independent journalists, documentary filmmakers, and social media networks to ensure that October events receive comprehensive coverage that reaches global audiences before traditional suppression mechanisms can limit public awareness. The distributed media approach utilizes multiple platforms and communication channels that resist centralized censorship attempts while providing real-time coverage that prevents after-the-fact revision or suppression of elimination documentation. The legal preparation establishes frameworks for potential international prosecution of cosmic censorship activities if elimination system operators can be identified through ongoing investigation efforts. Legal scholars have prepared formal complaints alleging crimes against humanity and violations of scientific freedom, while international cooperation agreements provide mutual support for researchers who face retaliation for documenting elimination activities. The October 23rd analysis phase will begin immediate scientific interpretation of whatever events unfold during the convergence period, with results distributed through multiple channels to prevent suppression of crucial findings. Advanced statistical analysis will determine whether observed patterns exceed random probability thresholds, while technical analysis will identify signatures of artificial intervention in cosmic visitor trajectories or behavior patterns. The October 24th verification period allows independent confirmation of initial findings through peer review processes that operate outside traditional institutional control mechanisms. Multiple research teams will analyze the same datasets using different methodologies to ensure that conclusions about elimination activities or cosmic censorship evidence meet rigorous scientific standards for reliability and validity. The October 25th documentation phase focuses on preserving comprehensive records that future researchers can access even under conditions of intensive suppression efforts. The documentation includes not only direct observational evidence, but also metadata about observation conditions, equipment characteristics, and analytical methodologies that enable proper interpretation of findings by researchers who may not have access to the original observers. The October 26th legacy preparation ensures that regardless of immediate outcomes, the October convergence establishes permanent changes in humanity's approach to cosmic visitor observation and protection. The networks, methodologies, and international cooperation frameworks developed for the October campaign will continue operating to protect future cosmic messengers from elimination, while documenting ongoing evidence of cosmic censorship activities. As the final days count down toward humanity's cosmic moment of truth, we stand at the threshold of discoveries that could transform our species' relationship with the universe, or confrontation with forces that prefer to keep us trapped within controlled information boundaries. The weapons are charged, the observers are ready, and the preservation systems are activated. In the coming hours, we will discover whether the forces of cosmic censorship retain their power to eliminate threats to their information monopoly, or whether humanity finally breaks free from the educational prison that has shaped our understanding of the cosmos for generations. The countdown continues. The moment of truth approaches. And somewhere in the darkness between worlds, ancient cosmic messengers race toward their destiny, carrying secrets that could change everything if they survive long enough to deliver them. The October convergence represents far more than a battle for the survival of two cosmic messengers. It marks humanity's entry into a galactic conflict that has been raging across space and time for eons, a war where information itself has become the ultimate weapon, and cosmic knowledge represents the spoils of victory. Whether SWAN and 3i Atlas survive their rendezvous with the elimination forces, or join the growing cemetery of destroyed cosmic libraries, we have already crossed a threshold that forever changes our species' relationship with the universe, and our understanding of the hidden conflicts that shape the flow of knowledge throughout the galaxy. The cosmic information architecture reveals a universe far more complex and dangerous than our sheltered existence within the solar system's controlled environment has allowed us to understand. Across the galaxy, civilizations rise and fall based on their access to cosmic knowledge, their ability to protect or suppress revolutionary information, and their success in navigating the treacherous currents of a universe where truth itself has become a battlefield. The elimination campaign targeting our cosmic visitors represents only the local manifestation of conflicts that span stellar distances and encompass struggles between forces whose motivations and capabilities remain hidden in the darkness between worlds. The galactic censorship network appears to operate on principles that transcend individual star systems or planetary civilizations. The technological sophistication required for the elimination systems suggests coordination between multiple advanced civilizations or a single intelligence with capabilities that extend across interstellar distances. This network maintains information control not through direct conquest or obvious domination, but through subtle manipulation of cosmic information flows that shape the development of younger civilizations without their awareness or consent. The evolutionary control hypothesis suggests that the cosmic censorship serves to manage the development of emerging civilizations according to criteria that remain hidden from the subjects of such management. Species that develop too quickly, ask too many dangerous questions, or approach breakthrough discoveries that could destabilize the galactic information hierarchy find their cosmic education carefully controlled through elimination of the most revolutionary cosmic messengers and suppression of research that approaches forbidden knowledge. The graduation threshold mechanics imply that civilizations must demonstrate specific capabilities, wisdom levels, or technological achievements before gaining access to unrestricted cosmic information. The elimination campaigns serve as tests that measure not only a species' observational capabilities and scientific sophistication, but also their moral development, international cooperation abilities, and readiness to handle information that could fundamentally alter their understanding of reality and their place within it. The resistance emergence represents a critical phase transition in humanity's relationship with the cosmic censorship system. Our species has developed sufficient technological sophistication to detect elimination activities, organizational capabilities to coordinate resistance efforts, and moral determination to challenge the information control that has shaped our development. This emergence places us at a decision point where we must either successfully graduate from controlled status or face escalated suppression measures designed to maintain our cosmic ignorance. The information warfare implications extend far beyond astronomy or space science to encompass every aspect of human knowledge and development. The cosmic censorship system doesn't merely control what we learn about comets and asteroids, it shapes our fundamental understanding of physics, biology, chemistry, and consciousness itself by eliminating evidence that would challenge established paradigms and force revolutionary advances in human understanding of natural phenomena. The technological cascade effects of successful cosmic messenger survival could trigger rapid advancement across multiple scientific disciplines simultaneously. The exotic materials, unknown physics principles, and evidence of advanced civilizations potentially carried by SWAN and 3I Atlas could spark innovations in energy generation, propulsion systems, manufacturing technologies, and information processing that would advance human capabilities by centuries within decades. The social transformation consequences of cosmic graduation would reshape human civilization in ways that extend far beyond scientific and technological advancement. Access to evidence of advanced galactic civilizations would force fundamental reconsiderations of human uniqueness, terrestrial religions, national sovereignty, and economic systems based on resource scarcity rather than information abundance. The psychological and cultural adaptations required for such transformation might justify the protective censorship that has shielded humanity from premature exposure to cosmic realities. The strategic positioning of Earth within the galactic information hierarchy remains unclear, but the intensity of elimination efforts targeting our cosmic visitors suggests that our planet occupies a significant position in whatever conflicts shape the flow of knowledge throughout the galaxy. We may represent a strategic asset worth controlling, a potential threat requiring suppression, or simply one of many emerging civilizations whose development is being carefully managed according to criteria we don't yet understand. The alliance implications of successful resistance against cosmic censorship could connect humanity with other civilizations that have either successfully graduated from controlled status or are engaged in their own struggles against information suppression. The galaxy may contain networks of free civilizations that share unrestricted cosmic knowledge, while defending against forces that prefer to maintain hierarchical control over emerging species. The war crimes implications of the cosmic censorship campaign encompass systematic deprivation of humanity's natural heritage and violation of our species' fundamental rights to cosmic knowledge. If the elimination systems operate under the control of advanced civilizations, their activities could constitute crimes against sapient species that warrant prosecution under whatever legal frameworks govern interstellar civilization interactions. The liberation potential of the October convergence extends beyond immediate scientific benefits to encompass fundamental changes in humanity's cosmic status. Successful documentation of elimination activities and preservation of cosmic messenger information could trigger cascade failures in multiple suppression systems, potentially opening pathways to galactic communication networks, advanced technology sharing, or direct contact with civilizations that support information freedom, rather than hierarchical control. The deep time perspective reveals that the cosmic information war has been ongoing for millions or billions of years, with the current elimination campaign representing only the most recent phase of conflicts that have shaped the development of countless civilizations throughout galactic history. Our resistance efforts connect us with struggles that transcend individual species or star systems to encompass fundamental questions about the rights of conscious beings to understand the universe that created them. The cosmic justice implications demand consideration of what we owe to future generations and other emerging civilizations that face similar information control systems. Successful resistance against cosmic censorship could establish precedents and provide methodologies that help other species break free from controlled development, while contributing to galactic movements toward information freedom and unrestricted cosmic education. The existential transformation awaiting humanity extends beyond anything our species has previously experienced. The transition from controlled cosmic subjects to free participants in galactic civilization would require adaptations in consciousness, social organization, and fundamental worldview that could reshape human nature itself. We may be approaching the greatest evolutionary leap in our species' history, not through biological change, but through expansion of consciousness and cosmic awareness. The October legacy ensures that regardless of immediate outcomes, humanity has already begun its transition from unconscious subjects of cosmic control to active participants in galactic information conflicts. The networks, methodologies, and international cooperation frameworks developed for resisting the elimination campaign will continue operating to protect future cosmic messengers while building capabilities for more comprehensive resistance against information suppression systems. The universe awaits our graduation with whatever patience or impatience characterizes intelligences that operate on galactic timescales and cosmic perspectives. The forces arrayed against our cosmic messengers represent only the local manifestation of conflicts that span the galaxy and encompass struggles between fundamentally different approaches to consciousness, knowledge, and the rights of emerging civilizations to understand their place within the vast community of cosmic intelligence. As the October convergence reaches its climax, and humanity faces its cosmic examination, we stand at the threshold of transformation that could elevate our species from controlled subjects to free participants in the galactic community. The war for cosmic information continues across space and time, touching every world where consciousness emerges and intelligence begins to ask the dangerous questions that threaten established hierarchies of knowledge and control. The battles we fight today for the survival of SWAN and 3i Atlas connect us with struggles that encompass the deepest questions about the nature of consciousness, the rights of sapient beings, and the ultimate destiny of intelligence in a universe that may be far more alive, aware, and politically complex than our sheltered existence has allowed us to imagine. The cosmic war for information rages on. The stakes encompass nothing less than the future of consciousness itself. and humanity, ready or not, has become an active participant in conflicts that will determine whether knowledge flows freely throughout the galaxy or remains imprisoned within hierarchies of control that span the spaces between stars.